comrades, today is July 7, 2026, and the current time is 1917. Due to a unexpected network fault, comrades should expect reduced internet capacity for the foreseeable future. This means no watching YouTube or Netflix using Institute resources. That concludes today's announcements.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Okay. Well, I don't know why, but apparently VTube Studio has also exploded. I swear this was all working fine about like 5 minutes ago, and now it's just dying. Hold on, if I reload the model, does that fix anything? Nope. Alright, no, we're still broken. Hello, everyone. Embrace the fact that I am currently a pink void until I can figure out what the heck is going on with all of my stuff, because apparently none of it wants to work today, which is really weird. This is new. I am, in fact, a professional streamer, contrary to popular belief. I just don't know why my professionalism is currently not working. I don't know what is happening. Why is it like nothing is like City Skylines refuses to boot up right now? I'll say that much. It's really weird. The launcher is not loading, which is really odd, and I have no idea why. An error occurred while launching the game. The game's already launched. Excuse me? The game's not launched? Hello? Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this. I also don't know why my... Oh, as soon as I open up Task Manager and complain, it magically shows up. All right. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. No, I am not going to shell out $2,000 for RAM. I just shelled out like 5K this year to have my car fixed and updated so that it's not going to explode. I can't have any more bad things happening to me like before my trip. Let me at least enjoy my trip first. All right, how do I fix this? I think if I reload Sprout, I think is what it is. What I use. Is that what I use? Sprout? How do I fix this? Oh my goodness, this is such a disaster. Toby, visual effects, display lighting. No, here we go. Activate Sprout. Turn it off, turn it back on. There we go. All right, I'm alive. Holy moly, that was way more difficult than it needed to be. What an absolute disaster. How are all of you doing, comrades? Good evening. Hello, Alana and Sun and Ranu and Greywind. And congrats to Ray for being first. Also, hello, Lumina. And is that everyone who said anything so far? I think so. I don't think anyone's on the YouTube side right now. I don't think anyone's watching on YouTube. But if you want to watch on YouTube just to help give me more of that viewership boost over there, that's also a fun option. Let me pin that real quick. Let me also change my graphics settings so that when I stream City Skylines, it doesn't immediately implode on me, because every time I stream this with the default settings that I play with, the game tends to explode. So we're going to at least fix that. Move your 2TB SSD from your old PC to your new PC. Ah, you know, that's a good thing, because holy cow. Have you seen the prices of those things? Those things are incredibly expensive. Holy moly. I'm glad at least you got to fix that, because that stuff is expensive. SSDs are so pricey nowadays. It's insane. It's actually nuts. So I'm glad that you're able to get something. Right, I'm glad you're able to get your stuff working. Oh, look, the game. Isn't that crazy? All right, let me just, hopefully we get this fixed so I can actually play the stupid thing and we can build our buc-ee's data center, which is the project that I want to work on today. I'll show off the things that I was working on over the past day or two, just to kind of show you what we've been at for some time. Let me also put on some BGM real quick, just so that we're not completely bored of the silence of our unending approach to death. Let's see, what are we listening to today? Let's see. What are we gonna listen to? Also, I don't know why, but I've been watching a lot of like infomercials recently from like the 2000s, and so my YouTube feed is just like, hey, have you remembered this like late 90s, early 2000s, late 2000s infomercial, like the Copper Ready Express or the Zoo Books, or I don't know, Moon Shoes, for example? Oh yeah, those were real products that existed apparently, that I did not even think about until I was rewatching these videos, and it was quite an experience. All right, what are we gonna listen to? Let's listen to... No, trust me, it's always about the buc-ees. We gotta embrace our internal buc-ee-isms. All right, what are we gonna listen to today? Video game music. Okay, that's probably a fine category. Let's see. Yes, the Persona 4 OST. That's probably appropriate enough. Sure. People flooded the buc-ees. I heard, like, I really want to go visit a buc-ee's one day. Like, I think it'd be really sick to go visit one, but I'm kind of far away from any nearby buc-ees, and so that's not really a thing that I can kind of just go over and visit, you know what I mean? Alright, I thought I downloaded the HEB asset too, but I guess not, because I don't remember what it's called. I guess I didn't install it. It would have been really funny to have an HEB somewhere too, because I know it keeps being mentioned here too, but unfortunately it's not, so we're just gonna work with whatever we have whatever I have downloaded, and I'm sure it'll be very fine and normal, and this entire city is not going to explode upon itself with the insanity. I was trying to also install some other assets that I didn't get to install, like some what you want to call it, say like arenas and whatnot. I did not end up installing any of those just because I didn't really feel like none of them really seemed appropriate enough. So we just chose not to do that. The other thing we're going to try to do today is we're going to try to fix a lot of the highways. Unfortunately, our main highway interchanges are a bit of a disaster, so I kind of want to make them look less. I will say the one asset I'm surprised doesn't exist yet is a Tokyo big site. I really want a big Tokyo big... Okay, so I'm going to change this real fast before my game explodes. Okay, so right now I'm running this at... I normally play at this... Well, we're going to drop it down to 90... I normally play at 1440p. We got to drop it down to like 1080p at 60. And it's gonna look uglier on my screen, but it'll look better on the stream. And we gotta wait until these things finish preloading the fabrications, and then we should be able to load in here. Yeah. Buc-ee is the mecca of the South arid US. I mean, isn't the South USA just like a lot of stuff? It's not just arid. There's a lot of things going on in the Southern United States. It's not all just arid nonsense, you know. The US has stuff. It's not just bland. It's, there's things like oil. Like, oh god, there's a lot of oil. Like, it's actually kind of crazy how much oil is down there. It's horrifying how much oil is actually down there. Anyways, I'll show you the things that I've been working on so you two can see the absolute insanity of what I've been trying to put together. And maybe you can all help me decide what are the next major projects we need to tackle in our great city. So here's a pseudo-Japanese themed city. It's starting to turn more American than anything. It's currently called Soroshoki, and obviously we drive on the right side because I didn't want to reconfigure the map to be drive on left, so that's a little bit of a nightmare. There's an entire port here that I kind of never got around to finishing. I should probably finish this at some point, but that's a project for way later down the line when I stop being lazy. So anyways, welcome to our little city here. As you can see, there's a lot of things going on. I'll just switch to camera mode. We've got a beautiful, I do like a 50 millimeters. I do like a 50 focal length, since we're gonna switch this to 50. Okay, here's our current city. Here's what we currently got. We have our suburban core, which is... This music's really quiet. Oh, you know, let me turn off the fan. Oh, I got a big fan. Let me turn this off. You know what's funny? I bought a 2 terabyte SSD the other day, like a few months ago, and you know how much it cost me? It was like over $200. I'm like, man, I remember when it used to be like $50 per terabyte, and now we're looking at almost like $120, $150 per terabyte. It's insane. Sorry, I turned off a fan because it was super loud. Anyways, here's our city. So here's our suburban core, as you remember from last time. It's exactly what it is. You got a school. Let's see, what is this? This is you got an elementary school, which is incredibly overcrowded right now. And you've got the high school over here, which is also incredibly overcrowded right now. We may need more schools to be dumped in at some point. We've got some parks, we got some office buildings, and we got our big old data center right here. We're gonna put another one of these bad boys down, don't worry. We're gonna have lots of these. Also, yes, the game is gonna stutter a lot. I don't know why I cannot get this game to ever run smoothly. It is going to stutter like hell for the entire stream. And we've also got the more rich area neighborhood here, where you got to see though whatever this sport is called, tennis. I think this is tennis courts. Yeah, tennis courts. That's what they're called. Yeah, you got some like rich people living around here. We've also got more urban, kind of condensed near the high school and whatnot. And as you can see, this was our old urban core until I started moving things out of here. Now there's still a bunch of buildings I need to purge. These comically large buildings are not really something I want to keep here, but for the time being they're just kind of there and they haven't really caused too many issues, so for the time being they get to stay. Except for this one is staying here. I kind of added that one, so that's kind of how that's gonna look. So there's a lot of empty spaces here that need to be fixed, and we've also got a giant shopping center, which I'm just calling it a Costco. It's not really a Costco, but for all intents and purposes, this is basically a Costco. And there's a bunch of other apartment buildings that need to be purged. You might notice there's also a lot of cars. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn off the music here. But for all intents and purposes, it is a Costco. over here, we got a few more buildings. We got some row homes, and we got our small little tram station. So, yeah, I guess it is kind of a strip mall, but it's like a very big, giant shopping center. Something in all. You can find everything you want here, so I assume it's more of a Costco. This is our urban core. You might notice there's some very, very tall buildings that don't really belong here, but we've got this thing. I don't actually know what this building is supposed to be modeled after. So this comes from a DLC pack where it's like a lot of skyscrapers that are all based on real buildings. Like this one over here is literally just a Sears Tower from Chicago, which is incredibly funny to me. We've also got some other skyscrapers. Now, a lot of this does need to be redone, and I plan on adding essentially like a giant. My plan is in this area, I want to add like a frontage like strip here, and then we'll probably shrink this island down a little bit so we can have like a proper, I guess, seaside road around this area. But beyond that, we got a few other nice buildings like the Kansai Tower, which I'm not exactly sure what this one is also supposed to be, but it's got a high school built into it. And we've got a few other hotels like this Grass Crown, and so it's kind of nice. You know what's funny? I've never actually been to the Sears Tower proper. I've been to the John Hancock Tower a bunch of times, which is close enough. I do want to put gardens if I can, but right now gardens are something I need to figure out where the heck I'm going to put that type of thing. We're also going to change our, I just want to change the shadows real quick so I can just at least show off some of the other stuff that I've been working on. So that's kind of the main adjustments. I've also added this block here of various towers that is primarily a residential district. I thought it looked kind of neat. I've been told this is too many trees. To that I say hogwash. You can always have trees. Trees are always nice to have, and so I think it adds a nice bit of, I don't know what you want to say, greenery and color to the experience. And overall, I think it's a good idea to have this, right? So that's kind of my thing with this. It does actually, I did try to add a little bit more random details as I've been doing this. So I've thrown in a small shrine. There's a small Shinto shrine just kind of hanging around here, complete with, I don't know, a vending machine. But yeah, you can go do your prayers and go grab yourself a drink. Oh my gosh, it's so laggy. When you zoom in this far, the tree quality gets so high that it just starts getting like, because there's so many leaves. But I've been trying to like slowly slot in smaller and smaller things. Like over here, there's a small koban, you know, a small police box. And obviously the other big thing that I've been working on is I've been adding more and more to the tram network, which is our within the city transit network. So right now this tram network has 3 main stops, which needs to be a little bit more complete. And also I don't like the fact that this is kind of turned into a terminus, but it's kind of turned into a terminus right now. You can kind of see that intersection is kind of whack that it just did there. I need to emphasize that the way it has to get out is that it has to go here. It has to go switch to the right track, and then it can finally turn around. That's very messy, but it's kind of how it looks right now. So right now, that's kind of how this works. It's this line more or less has like 3 vehicles, and that's kind of what is providing a lot of inner city transit. And I've been trying to make every station look a little nicer so that they're not all ugly pieces of trash. So we've got this one, you know, right next to a Family Mart. This was a Family Mart. Now it's called Chirper's Toys. What happened to the Family Mart? Can I change this? I guess I did download a mod that allows you to change aspects of the business, but I guess it's a toy shop now and not a Family Mart, which is really annoying because I thought this was a Family Mart when I first put it down. And then all the way over here is another big one with a big old plaza, as I mentioned previously, so it does look pretty nice, as you can tell. Again, a lot of people are using the tram system, which is what we're doing. And now the thing that actually people want to hear about, the buc-ees. So this is an incomplete line, but right now the tram line does actually, weirdly enough, extend all the way out here to the buc-ees. That's right, there's a giant buc-ees in the middle of this random peninsula. Unfortunately, I also had to throw in a recycling center next to it because we were desperate to have more garbage trucks so that we can finally, you know, handle all of our trash in the city because there's too much. So I got 2 main plans for this buc-ees. 1, I want to put a data center next to it, and 2, I want to put a big tram station as well. So there should be tram station access, and there should also be a data center, because I think you can never have enough data centers. And not only that, we legitimately do kind of need data centers right now. If you kind of take a look at our communication, our telecom systems, yes, there is actual data center. This is legitimately a data center. It's called, well, we call it big cameras, but this is actually a data center system. And it is like an actual thing that you put. It's just part of the telecommunications stuff. You could also put like modern telecom buildings if you want like proper towers instead of big giant buildings. If you really wanted to make this extra, what's what I'm thinking of, extra ominous. Do you know the tower in New York City, the No Lines Tower or whatever they call it? You know which one I'm talking about? The one where the NSA has their super secret telecom wiretapping shenanigans going on. That is an actual building that they did add as a facility you could throw in here if you really wanted the big evil grim monolith. What do they call it? The long lines or something? I cannot remember what it's called. But it is a thing that you can just add. It's one of these. I don't remember which one it is. It came from one of the DLC packs. I think it's this one, the Long Wires Tower. Yeah, this one. Yeah, you can have the great ominous monolith that is just harvesting all of your data. You could put it here and it'd be perfectly fine, but we're not going to do that because I'm not completely insane. So yes, that's kind of where we're at with the city overall in design. There is a lot of traffic you might notice too. Not really much I can do that with right now because the way that the highway is designed is that it's kind of a disaster. Notably, the main disasters is that the only way to get into this area right now, and I really wish I was joking, the only way to get it, there's two ways to get in. You can either hop in through this highway interchange near the Buc-ee's, or you hop in around this intersection here, and then you can hop on in this way. You could just force people into parking, take transit. Now, right now, is not a lot of parking here. I've actually tried to remove as much parking as possible, but there is a lot of street parking, and I have not set up a proper bus line that will handle traffic around this area. Now, I did kind of prepare it by adding, well, a bus station-esque, you know, preparing for a bus station here, which will be something that we'll fix later. Maybe off stream I'll do that. But overall, I'm generally happy with how a lot of this has turned out. I was really proud of how this area looks. Like, I really like this green, like this terraced building. This building looks kind of sick. Like, can you imagine living here? This would be a sick building to live in, honestly. This music's, that's fine. So, it is quite nice to live here, although again, they're kind of looking out into the void. Needs more trees? We will add more trees, don't worry. How's your prison architect adventure going? Also, hello, Hayashi. There's not a lot of parking, but again, I'm trying to add small things. I think there's even like a Lawson here. Yeah, like I threw a Lawson here. Look at that. That beautiful Lawson. Can I not change the actual company? I guess not. Oh, you can change the... Oh yeah, you can change exactly what the company sells if you really wanted to. So like right now I turned into, it sells convenience food now. Although it's technically a Lawson, you can't really call it a Lawson for some reason. You had your fill of living in an apartment? I think that depends. I'd rather have a house than an apartment at this point, but there can be some joy in living in an apartment. By the way, I was really proud of, initially, by the way, when this was built, I had actually had the outer area pointing this way, which was really annoying because apparently there's no backside entrance into this facility, so into this apartment building. So if you wanted to get inside, so if they wanted to get to the station, they had to go around the entire block. So I kind of flipped the building around, and now this station is perpetually in use, and it's kind of wonderful to see. So I do like how this looks. Now there is a sign here. I don't know how to change it though. It just says modern tram. I think that's changeable. The 10 across turn up a dirty quarter. Oh, jeez. I guess that's the thing with when living in an apartment is that, yeah, it's a little cheaper, but you kind of have to take the good with the bad then, right? That does sound really awful though. I'm glad you survived. So at least the tram line works. It does its job. I would like to maybe change the trams, but it's not really a point to changing the building or the vehicle. I really have small modern streetcar trams, and trams are generally fine. I might actually make the trams free, just because I think it would be more incentive for people to come and stay with those. God, I cannot wait until Persona 4 Remake comes out. It's gonna be so sick. You know what this reminds me? I don't know, speaking of elevator rails over subways, honestly, I like seeing vehicles moving around more. So that's why I go with elevated rail over subways like 99% of the time, because there's like the visual aspect of seeing the elevated rail is so much cooler than just, oh, we just shoved it underground, you know? That's kind of my logic. Is it the best logic? Maybe not, but it's my logic that I choose to embrace. So a few things. Yeah, we're going to try to more or less build a road that kind of goes from here to here. And then we're going to have another connection point here. And then we're going to start building like a weird frontage road, like ocean side road here. That's kind of running parallel to this street here. That will more or less give us a little bit more land space to work with and maybe a few more oceanfront properties that we can abuse. And that's kind of my current goal here. Then the building actually burned down their apartment. Oh my gosh. I guess, yeah, the problem with apartments is that you are not sure what the people you are living near are up and gonna do, right? Like, some of them could just be causing wanton amounts of chaos. So, Jesus Christ, that's fair. I don't know, last time I lived in an apartment was when I was in university, and I thought it was a perfectly reasonable experience, but I think the people I was also living with were fine and dandy and not at all insane, so that's kind of the deal with that too. I would like to own a home one day, but unfortunately buying a home is currently difficult in this timeline. Oh yeah, these three buildings actually came from over here. So fun fact, you can actually offset the building back by a few steps. So you can be about like 4 meters from the road and it still is a valid connection to the street, which I thought was really nice because otherwise I think this would have been clipping into the building. So by not having it clip into the building, it does look really cool when you're kind of at street level, which I think a lot of people would maybe agree. Like, look at this. It's kind of pretty just kind of seeing this at grade, right? You can see all the cool stuff going on at the street level. Oh boy, those plants are clipping through the street. Okay, we might need to fix that. So anyways, yeah, that's the current adventure that we have. So today, main goal is to improve or set up the buc-ee's data center and also improve the waterfront around this area, which I don't have a name for the downtown section, but I do need to put a name for this downtown region at some point. And unfortunately, yeah, it's a little bent, which I'm gonna have to find a way to finagle that. I think I'm gonna make it straight up through this point, and then it'll bend in towards this section here. Maybe we'll do like a nice small curvature would probably be appropriate. So that's kind of where we're at with this type of deal. You almost forgot? What did you forget almost? This thing also only has like a limited amount of trams, so I do need to be a little careful about that. After the horde attendant moved into their apartment, was hotboxing the laundry room. Oh gosh, I hate that so much. I already can't stand the smell of weed. I can't imagine my whole house or apartment smelling like weed all the time because some idiot decided, you know what I want to do? I want to be a public nuisance and smoke the marijuana all the time. That would drive me actually insane. I cannot stand weed. I know that's probably like an unpopular opinion in some circles, but for me, it's just unbearable. All right. Let's go set up the buc-ee's. Okay, so the buc-ee's needs two things. It needs so I think essentially the tram line will terminate around here, but I do want to add at least like one more tram. I might want to make it a loop actually. I haven't decided where I want the loop to go though, is kind of the main deal. So let's see how we're going to design this. Like, there's a lot of choices that we have here, and we just got to figure out how we're going to put a tram. So tram and data center, and then I'm probably going to move the recycling center somewhere else, but I may need to expand this out. So I might design this after, like, actual ports. The other reason is that I might give buc-ee's its own dedicated port, which would be kind of cursed, but having a buc-ee's dedicated port would be really funny. So that's kind of my logic and reasoning with some of the weird projects that we do, is it funny? Yes. All right, then we're going to do it. By the way, if you're kind of curious about our economy, right now one of our biggest issues is that we are having to buy our electricity by a fairly decent margin of like 73,000. It's not that much right now, but we may need to start building new electrical sources because we just don't have any. And our choices are basically, do you want coal? Do you want geothermal? Do you want a giant solar array? Do you want a nuclear power plant? So nuclear power plant is probably the cleanest option. It unfortunately costs a little bit too much right now, but we may need to buy it at some point anyways. The other thing I do want to build later on is I would like to build an airport. Also, hello Zeoposer. Yeah, I would like to build an airport at some point. I'm not gonna do the big international one. I think we'll just do the standard small size airport, but that's a problem for a little bit later. So one project at a time. Anyways, we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do the buc-ees. The Great Buc-ees needs to be finally adjusted for our proper magical use of what we're trying to do. So I think we might gentrify this and get rid of and we're gonna move the buc-ees. I don't know what we're calling this. The buc-ees townhomes, and we may just put the what's it called, right here. I think we might put the tram line here so that if I need it to loop, it can immediately rotate around. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So we're just gonna get rid of this entire stack of homes. These people don't need to live here anymore. Goodbye. Get rid of these platters. Keep the substation, and let's put in. Now, obviously, one of the big issues is that this street is kind of not designed for human crossings, but you know what? They'll survive if they have to cross. Oh yeah, by the way, all the people we just kicked out, they're all kind of stacked in that giant, weird human amalgamation. Yeah, it's kind of turning into my amusement park. This is not at all what I intended, but I think it's funny. All right, let's figure out the tram line. Thank goodness, I really like these elevated tram lines so much. These are so nice. So I think what we'll do is we'll just take the standard elevated one like this, and probably just plop it. It's probably fine, right? 1, 2, 5. It's probably okay. I'm trying to like center it. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I see the problem. This road needs to be rebuilt. Hold on. Unfortunately, the roads weren't connected properly, so I was like, all right, let's just trim it down. But anyways, how have all of you been on this fine day? Hopefully you're all chilling and relaxing and not suffering from any more weather-related hazards, which I know is a real problem that people are dealing with. So hopefully none of you are dying of weather-related issues. What was that, 5? A little under 5. Okay, so I think I'll just kind of put this maybe. Okay, how about we put it here? Yeah, so it's in the center. It's not in the center of the buc-ees, but it's more in the center of the, what's it called? In between these parking areas, which I think is fine. I don't know if I want to use this one or the other one. Let's see. I know there's another one I have. This one's a little smaller and more compact and has 2 one-way stations. I think. Let's see. I think this one's fine. I think this one will look okay. Yeah, all right. So then we're just gonna hook this up together. And see how easy it is to put together a buc-ee's station thingy. All right, so we're just gonna do this, and then we'll just build out the track, and it should not be that difficult. So we'll just. I love how easy this game makes it to add tracks. Now I don't know why the other. I remember the other one was fine for the most part, but this is just way easier. It just looks so much cleaner. Look at that. You get to cut through the trees. And then as we add more and more buildings, it's going to look even nastier. And by nastier, I really mean it's going to look nasty. Okay. So there's the buc-ee station, and I need to figure out where I'm going to put a data. I think I just put the data center right next to it. Yeah, I think unironically. So because I do want to add this legitimately, I probably will just put this. Oh my god, it's so big. I can't. Okay. Alright, so the only way to make this work is I need to essentially level this, expand this little peninsula, and hopefully not completely destroy the water system. This river is going to probably become less of a river, I think, over time. So we'll have to hope this doesn't break anything, so that's fine. We'll just kind of build it out to the edge. That's okay. Actually, before I do this, I'm just gonna buy this tile. It's a big empty tile of water, but I figure it's better to have it now in case I do want to build a giant port. Right now we're not doing that, but this should be fine. And thankfully, since no one lives near the data center, like this is not actually going to cause any huge problems, I think. Hopefully. Oh, I didn't even center that buc. Did I never center the buc-ees? Did I just kind of plop this down? Oh, I think I just plopped it down. Oh no, I did center it on. Wait, did I? I don't know. I don't know if I actually centered it on anything, but I guess it's fine, question mark. Let me see if I move this. Oh, I guess it wasn't centered on, I guess it wasn't centered on the grids. There we go. So we're gonna move that, and then I don't think I need to move anything else. Okay, so that's fine. And Anyways, I've been looking at a lot of city stuff recently because I just do enjoy seeing city shenanigans, and it's very interesting, like, just seeing how other countries do their cities. I know everyone touts Japan as like the pinnacle of, you know, public transit, and more or less China. Have you seen China? China's gotten kind of crazy with their public transit systems as well. It's very, very impressive to see. Obviously, the main issue then is that, well, you're gonna have to be in China, and I think a lot of people here more or less maybe have some negative opinions about China, and I'm probably forbidden from ever going to visit China based on the things that I probably said on stream. So as an FYI, the more you know. But I do find it at least somewhat entertaining, some of the things that you can and cannot do. All right, so I did download a few more parking assets, and I don't know if they actually downloaded. Doesn't look like they downloaded. Oh no, yeah, I have a small JP time. I wish modders would actually remember to put pictures of their assets. Hey, I like bullet trains. Bullet trains are fantastic. I'm a huge sucker for bullet trains. Okay, so there's our big giant data center. It does exactly what it says. Primarily, it adds more network coverage in our city. So basically, anything that's this color is not good. Yellow is bad. We do need more telecom coverage in those areas. I think if I just add these, they don't actually cost that much more, but it should at least improve our telecom coverage a little bit. Kind of. All right, so we're gonna call this Big Buc-ee's Seeing Eye, or Palantir. Oh yes, evil Buc-ee's. Yeah, if the CCP can maintain their infrastructure, I will actually be impressed. That would be pretty crazy. Especially considering the CCP doesn't exactly have the best track record when it comes to that type of thing. But hey, anything's possible, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I would like to actually hook in a residential path. It's kind of cutting through this. It's fine. So I think that looks okay. I'm thinking a beach walk around this area is not the worst idea. And that's kind of the reason why we're building this, like, I don't know. Actually, I kind of don't like that. Don't I have one that's like a key? I don't think the site needs a road. If anything, I should probably improve the size of this road. I should probably preemptively increase the size of this from like a one lane like this into something like maybe a little chunkier. Yeah, I should probably do that now before if I don't do this now, I'm gonna forget. So let's I would consider trying to. I mean, I kind of keep it. I don't know who actually uses the vertical stream. I kind of keep it there because I'm sure there's like a few people out there who, weirdly enough, like vertical streams. But maybe at some point I will probably get rid of it. It's not really super useful in the grand scheme of things, but just one of those things I just kind of had. So hello, Zonga. How are you doing? All right, I forgot I was deleting power lines here. I need to run that power line to this section here because I think this is the big consumer. I'd like to put this underground, please. How do I put this underground? Here we go. Let's run that there. That should hook that all together. Okay. All these don't vape. Don't vape. As you can see, the vape despite the ads. No, don't do it. Don't vape. I'm a huge anti-vapor, quite frankly. Mostly because I can't, like, honestly, one of the funniest things, the main reason I hate a lot of things is just because I can't stand the smell. Like, legitimately, the main reason why I'm just like, don't do this thing is because the smell sucks. That's literally it. I'm sure a lot of other people maybe would agree that, hey, don't do it because it smells awful. Okay, so the thing is, I need, like, a similar road here that's mostly just a shoulder. I guess I have to go to Road Builder to get the custom road that I need, and I have to probably edit the 2-lane custom. We're gonna edit this one. Is it only used here? It is, okay. So I'm thinking if I just add an extra lane in each way, it's probably fine, and hopefully not gonna break anything in half. Oh yeah, that's, there we go. I think a 2-lane road like this is probably fine. I don't want there to be like a sidewalk, but unfortunately you have to kind of keep a, what's it called, median or like walking surface, otherwise the game starts to complain. So that's kind of why we're keeping it like this. Okay, so we need to also shift this street a little bit over. So we're just gonna shift it. This should be a medium. I don't know why it's so small. Okay, so we're just gonna hook it in. Oh, I need it hooked in like here. Yeah, it's a little... Okay, how about this? Why don't we just rebuild this? Why don't we just rebuild this thing? It is Velvet Room music. Yeah. Some good old Persona. Alright, it's just... Can I attach this to the... I need to attach it to the side of the building. I'll probably get rid of this. Okay, so... I should be able to just do a straight... like this. Unfortunately, it's breaking again. That's fine. As long as we get one road down, then we can fix the rest of it, which will then just be kind of a nice straight road. There we go. See how easy it is to set it up? Okay, so I've more or less just turned this into like a slightly larger road, and then this one will also snap around here. Kind of like this, and then we'll just do a nice simple junction turn. Ooh. See, look at that. Look at how smooth that is. You can come in, you can go visit your local Buc-ee's. Okay, now we unfortunately do need to hook it up to the rest of this area, which has not been well designed, so I am kind of needing to find a way to make this look a little better. I didn't want to use highways, I wanted to use other road types, but for the time being, this is gonna have to work. Don't really have a way to fix this at the current time. Basically, I'm like every other, I'm like a real road planner where my solution is I will fix this later. And that's kind of where we're at. I'm just in a, I will fix this at some point in the future when it's relevant, but until then, it's going to look like a hot disaster, and we're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to kind of accept it, because that's kind of how we operate here. Speaking of weird stuff, I don't know if anyone pays attention at all to sports ball, but I saw I was seeing how apparently this girl on Twitter, this like VTuber, has been predicting like who's gonna win by going like, oh, I'm rooting for this team, yeah, they're gonna win, and then they don't. They immediately lose. Every team that she starts cheering for instantly loses every single time, and it's so cursed, and it's like so tragic, because she's like, no, I'm not trying to do this on purpose, and everyone's calling her a witch now. For example, I think today there was a game between like Argentina and Switzerland, and she's like, yeah, let's go Argentina, and then Argentina loses. The other day she's like, let's go Colombia. Colombia loses. Let's go was it Egypt or something else? And then like whatever team she's rooting for just loses every time. I don't pay attention to sports ball that much, but I just thought it was so funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, she might actually be cursed. Okay, let's add in a, actually maybe we will use it. This one's fine. Or we could add one of the other nicer stations. Ooh, hold on. So if I add this one, nah, I kind of like the other one. I don't want the medianized one. I think we just use the standard elevated tram station. I think that's probably the best one. Yeah, this one's probably fine. Is this actually a version of Shadow World? I've never heard this version of Shadow World before. What the heck? Okay, let's listen to something else. Let's listen to Persona 5 Shibuya Station Rainy Mood. I guess that's appropriate. By the way, I don't think I showed screenshots. Would you like to see the city at night? Because I don't think we ever see the city at night. I'll show you the city at night in a second. Because it is actually kind of interesting. Like, I think City Skylines 2 does have a pretty good, what you want to call it, night renderer compared to the previous game, so let me just do this real fast and I'll read. I saw your message, so I'll go, let me read that in a second. Work was easy, just studying for final tomorrow. Now taking a break and writing some story bits. Ooh, okay. Hopefully you're able to get some time to relax. Just Chainsmoke, because I like Chainsmoker Cat. Everyone keeps talking about Yanineko, and I keep seeing stuff about it. I'm like, this is definitely a show that exists. It's not the type of show that I would personally watch, but hey, if you're into the Yanineko, then more power to you. I am not here to criticize your choice in media consumption. Wait, here, I think I can do a pedestrian key. Oh, a narrow key with pedestrian path? Oh, that's really thin. Can I do like a wide? Can I do like a wide with a deep, ooh. I'll try to feel about that. Okay, maybe I don't want to listen to this. Now that Density's dead, we should get you to play it sometime. Wait, which game? Persona 5? I never finished Persona 5. I keep telling myself, yeah, I'll finish Persona 5, and then I don't. Like how I tell myself I'm gonna finish some other thing. Oh, Destiny. The thing with Destiny is, I feel like Destiny is one of those games I would have loved to have played if I was playing it when it came out. But since I didn't play it when it was coming out, I unfortunately don't really have an interest in playing it. I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but I legitimately don't really have an interest in Destiny. I think it's one of those games that if I had been playing it when it came out, I think I would have been really into it. But since I didn't play it at the time, my interest in the game more or less just, well, it doesn't exist, I think is the best way to describe it. I'm gonna have to find a way to, okay, hold on, I have an idea. So we're gonna undo that. Oh my lord, I have made this a disaster. Okay, no, hold on. I think I have an idea. So what I'm gonna do is I need this road, but I don't need all the sides to be a key. I just need a pedestrian path that's wide. So I think what we do is we do a wide pedestrian path like this, and then I think what I'm gonna do. Hold on, I think I know how I want to make this look. Okay, so we'll extend this out a little bit. The jokes are pretty raunchy in Chainsaw Cat. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, I've seen like some of the jokes, and they are pretty raunchy. But isn't that the whole gimmick of the show, where it's like, hey, this is what an actual girl fail looks like? Is my understanding for the general vibe of that show, right? Oh my goodness, please. Concrete block. I think we do this concrete block key. I think my logic here is I just don't snap to shoreline. Just kind of snap to. We'll make it ourselves. We do something like this. So if we do this, just kind of angle it a little bit. I would like to make this parallel, but I don't know if I can make it parallel. This would require like some hard finagling. Hold on. The correct thing to do is use pavement paths to kind of force whatever you're trying to do to happen. So if I do this, and I just build a straight path like that, and then I do another straight path like around here, I should be able to force the wide key around this intersection here, and then just kind of force it at a straight, we're gonna force a 90-degree angle. There we go. Okay, so that looks fine. And then we can get rid of the supporting pillars that I was using, and then that should look a little better. See, the solution is just watch garbage anime like I do, and you'll be a lot happier. Just watch trash. Be like me. Embrace garbage. Watch isekai slop. That's what the kids like nowadays. Escape from your reality and just watch. There we go. Oh, not what I wanted. There we go. See, look, that's a nice looking key. Okay, so that's what I want. And then I need to find a way to delete this pillar or something about it because it's out of. Actually, can I just move it? Ooh, kind of messed up the curvature now, which is the problem. I think if I use. Okay, there we go. That looks a little nicer. So my goal here is to make a nice little park in this general vicinity. That's the reason why we're going through the effort of kind of preparing this entire landscaping. Yes, landscaping. It's a thing that people do, and we'll make it look pretty. Also, we'll kind of even out the heights of everything so it doesn't look too terrible. And then we'll try to make it a little more straighter like this, and then I think we'll kind of terminate the key around here until I figure, because I don't know what I'm going to do with this space necessarily. Anyways, with this new... Oh, wait, hold on. The other thing I got to do before I forget is I need to adjust the network. Yeah, I saw some of the poop jokes. I didn't want to make note of it, but yeah, there's a lot of poop jokes in that show, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now. All right, there we go. So now the tram line does extend far, and let me also just add an extra stop here so it kind of returns back here, because I think the implicit stops are... There we go, let's just do that. Okay, so that should cover every stop. Also, I just realized this doesn't actually connect here. Let's... Interesting. There we go, so that adds a train... Oh boy. I feel like I messed up somewhere on the routing of this station, and now it's biting me in the butt because I have no idea how the routing looks anymore. Yeah, something's wrong with the routing here. I don't know why it's like doubling up. Very odd. But this definitely needs to connect into this stop here. Because I think what's happening is that they're not actually stopping here at all. I don't know. We'll see if that fixes anything. I may need to delete the entire tram line and try to fix it, because it's kind of a... You might notice that it's kind of a mess, and we need to fix that, so... I don't know, I'm of opinion. Watch what you like, but also just be aware people are going to make fun of you for what you watch. I think Yanni Neko's fine. I think Yanni Neko is one of those things that's like getting people to realize that, like, hey, you maybe want to fix yourself up and don't become like this person, which I think is a very funny way of doing things. I'm like, at least it's not sugarcoating it, right? I've seen people saying that, like, oh, she's basically like got depression and she's basically a example of what depression looks like. And I'm like, is that how that works? Okay, sure. Like, I don't know, maybe. Oh god, what did I do? Okay, I don't know what I did. How do I fix this? Hold on. I think it's Control H and then... Oh god, I don't know how to fix... What did I do? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set node right here. Okay. That doesn't look right. I think there's a node here that has to be... Okay, so I don't know what's wrong with that. That doesn't look right. You know what? Delete it. I don't know why that didn't look right. Okay, trust me, we're gonna make this look nice and pretty. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so I think what's going on is that it's trying to build the key incorrectly. Yeah, it's like, I think there's like a weird broken node here for some reason. I don't want to break that though. I like how that looks. There must be a hidden node that I'm not seeing here. Or it's trying to build on top of it, and it's not letting me connect it. Yeah, that's really odd. Let's see if I build it here. Okay, yeah, there is something super whack here. But I think if I just build it here, seems good enough. There's a broken node here. I don't know where. I can sense it. There's something broken here. Because it's not looking correct. All right, hold on. I don't want to rebuild. I have to rebuild it. Ugh. Okay. Let's just redo this again. I'm weirdly anal about trying to make sure it looks correct, which is kind of a big hassle when it comes to these things. And unfortunately, this is not going to let me make a very clean connection point either. So I have to do this all ready again. So we're going to redo this. So we're going to go do this. That's fine. Make it, as long as it's a straight 90-degree angle, that's all that matters. So 90 degrees. And I think right around here is where I want 90 degrees. I want a straight cut through there with this wide key. Place, place. Okay, delete, delete. And then we should be able to add a key extension over here. And then this will be the end of the project of adding this great buc-ee's data center. Kind of build it out here-ish is fine. That's fine. And then we'll just use our wacky tools that we have available to us to try to make this look correct. Would you live in this city? I hope. My goal is that the city you see before you is a place that you would enjoy living in, despite the fact that it is kind of a disaster in some respects. But hey, you know what? We're trying. Okay, I don't know why that doesn't look the same. Oh, okay, I know why. Let's do this. Let's fix this up real quick. I'm just going to... I think I use these... Okay, hold on. Level tool here. This needs to be perfect. Come on. Push it out a little bit more. There we go. I don't know why it's not green, but that's probably fine. This area is kind of a mess. I'll fix that. You hate moving, so you won't live in the city if you can help it. Fair enough. That's totally understandable. I also hate moving. I'm one of those people that's like, once I live in a spot, I don't want to leave. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are like that. Like, once you get comfortable, you just don't want to leave anymore. You know, you just want to be there. I think that's respectable. I think moving's a hassle. I think if I just cover this with trees, it'll look okay. All right, here's our random key, I guess. I thought there were fences, but I guess not, so I may need to put fences on this at some point. But we've more or less built a small... I want to say, I guess it's a data center park. It's a park in front of the data center that... I guess is what we're doing now. So, actually, I'm kind of curious if there's a park asset that I can just kind of plop in here and call it a day. Let's see. Ooh, you know what? Every nice data center does need a nice, what's it called? Little urban park, right? Wouldn't you agree? Let's delete this. Let's see, what kind of park could I throw in here? What park makes the most sense for this kind of front area? Passage Park's too big. Don't think that's necessary. A hedge park. Ooh, okay. I think a hedge park actually makes the most amount of sense. Like this? You know what? That doesn't look that bad, actually. That actually looks kind of okay. Okay, so that's more or less... Oh, you know what this... Should I put a Lawson's here? Should I put a Family Mart or a Lawson's right next to the Buc-ee's? That seems unnecessary. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Let's see. Oh, you know what we do need that I've been kind of neglecting? I've kind of been neglecting our fire coverage. Yeah. You might notice there's a lot of potential fire hazards. And there's like maybe 3 fire stations in this entire city, so we may need to add a few more just to kind of make sure we don't burn the city to the ground. I don't have a big towering fire station, but I think something over here could probably use like a very small like outlet. Like we'd probably put like a small, what is it, Netherlands? Yeah, the Netherlands has like a cute building. I don't think anyone would complain about a small Netherlands fire station right next to this. I think this would make sense. Exactly. Who needs emergency services when you have aesthetics? You know what's funny is I can just probably put this here and we could probably build the next... Yeah, actually, this is fine. There. Oh, shoot, I built twice. I double-clicked it. And I deleted both of them. Great. There we go. There we go. We got a nice, cute little fire station. It's adorable. Okay, so the Buc-ee's Business Park is at least starting to look somewhat nice. I think what I'll do is I'll probably have the... We'll work on this later, but at the very least, I know this works, and there are a decent number of passengers already arriving here. So that's nice. I do want to extend the loop around at some point. So let's go back to this area. All right, comrades, I need help. What am I putting in some of these green space? What am I putting in some of these blank spaces? Because unfortunately, I don't know what to put in some of these blank spaces, so I would like opinions on what we're gonna do. Also, we have a... I don't know how to use this, so we're not going to use this right now. So, I put a block of buildings here. Oh my goodness. Whoa! Oh! I think these people all came from the Buc-ee's. From the Buc-ee's, company town. Since I deleted their houses, they're trying to go back home. But I guess they couldn't afford the tram ticket? That's really awkward. Maybe I do need to add that small Buc-ee's worker town somewhere around here, because right now I have a unholy number of civilians walking on the tram tracks. I think they actually got off here. Nope, they're still there. I kind of want to see where these guys are going. The second Buc-ee's. I don't want to put a second Buc-ee's. The second Buc-ee's makes no sense. Let's see what other... I did download a bunch of assets, so I can kind of see what we have. Let's see. I thought I downloaded an HEB, but I guess I didn't. I do have business hotels, so we could put like an Appa hotel somewhere. I'm really hoping these civilians will just kind of hop off here and just not... Okay, hold on. Let's see. Please tell me they're just gonna wait at the station. It does appear that they are becoming passengers. I think they're moving out because I destroyed their homes. You know what's funny? I actually can't add the third Buc-ee's because it's a unique building, so you're only allowed to put 1 Buc-ee's. You can't put any more Buc-ee's. A lot of these are unique, so you can't put multiple. If it's not unique, you can put more. I do want to put an arena somewhere. I just don't know where. For example, I could just drop this here and like, oh, we have a sports arena. Or we could put in cute little bookshops. But what we do need is more commercial and more residential. And I do want to try breaking the grid. You might have noticed that I have a propensity to build in grids, and I would like to try breaking apart some of the grids. Sometimes I did break it, like over here, we kind of put a big old straight line and had that as a basis point here. I'm gonna change the song music. I like this song. I think I've listened to this a bajillion times. Is there any nice video game music soundtracks that's not gonna get me in trouble with YouTube copyright? It's always YouTube copyright that I gotta be careful of because it sucks. YouTube copyright is like super anal about everything that you do. And also one thing that's super annoying is there's a lot of music now that's on YouTube that's just all AI generated, and I try to avoid AI gen music because there's so many of them. I don't know why. It's so cursed, it sucks. All right, why don't we do FTL full soundtrack? That's definitely gonna get me in trouble. Unless I just want to use Undertale music or more Persona or Blue Archive, or what else is there? Fire Emblem. Oh, here we go. Crusader Kings 3, Songs of the Realm. That seems like a very normal soundtrack to have. Sure, why not? That seems questionable. All right, yeah, let's do Crusader Kings. I think it's kind of nice to have more medieval sounding themes. Okay, this also area, I have no idea what I've been doing. I think I was told put some utility services. I initially was going to put a park, but I was told this land is too valuable to have a park and would better befit other facilities like commercial and whatnot. So I think what I'm gonna do at the very least is probably put two small, well, probably just kind of, I could probably just zone it, but I was looking to see if I had any large buildings that I could kind of just plop in here. There's nothing that's like super tall, unfortunately, that would fit easily because all the other super tall buildings are just comically large as well. Like at most you could maybe fit like a, let's see here, you could fit like this Cornoria, whatever this thing is, if I could rotate it. You could fit like a building like this, and it would add more, I guess, pizzazz to the region. Or we can add, let's see what else we got. And there's a lot of like really tall buildings that I would like to fit in. Like for example, I was half considering getting rid of this garden building and adding this other stupidly tall tower, but I wanted to keep that one residential as much as possible. Might just try to slot in some small towers that would realistically fit, and then maybe we do like a few offset ones here so we can have more stuff. I think that's fine, right? Yeah, let's put this bad boy over here. So that way it doesn't look alone. You know what I mean? A tower should have a partner. Every tower needs a partner. And also to at least make this at least a little bit more not so absurd. I will throw in a small pedestrian path if I can find the pedestrian node. I think it's in parks, right? Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I will add a pedestrian path that's about this wide. I think throw it down to center point. And then extend it out a little. I do want it to hook into this. Come on, build it. You want to build it. Okay, I don't know if that does anything. My logic is that pedestrians can maybe flow from going this way and straight into here, but I will need to resurface this at some point because it looks pretty bad. Yeah, so this is what I... No, come on. You want to walk this way? You want to walk this way? Okay, none of them want to walk this way. Maybe their routing hasn't been updated yet. So we'll need to fix that. But yeah, we're going to add more towers. And then I will try to add a frontage path here to make this look pretty. But I'm glad we have the buc-ee's data center. This area actually doesn't look that bad. One of the main issues this area does have, though, is that there's not a lot of traffic, which is kind of annoying. There's not really a reason for people to come in this region. In fact, this entire highway is just being used as a way for civilians to get into the city proper, the downtown, the urban delights that they so dastardly crave. So that's kind of the reason why this road's even in use right now. But there's a lot of room. We'll try to break the grid. If anyone has any other ideas, let me know. But a lot of times I just kind of start slapping things down and pray it looks decent enough. I actually kind of don't like how this looks. I'd have to... Oh, wait, I know what I can do. Hold on. I think the solution is actually... Okay, yeah, I have a solution for this corner. So right now, the front of the building is somewhere over here. Doesn't really matter. But I can probably add... Let's see, if I do this right, I should be able to add a walking pedestrian path. One of these is a pedestrian path that's invisible. Yeah, this one. I think you can build a pedestrian path like across, kind of like this, and it should probably be fine. Something along the lines like this. So there's like an invisible pedestrian path like that now. And the logic here is if I can figure out what surface this is. I can just build out a walking path like kind of like this, I think is what I'm trying to do. I do need him. Hold on. Snap 90. I'm kind of just eyeballing it. It's not quite. It's a little off. Hold on. Something like this is probably okay. And that's invisible, so that's also not ideal. That's not what I wanted. So now I have to find a way to delete that surface that I just made. Oh god, how do I do this? This is so difficult. Oh my lord, I just want to make surfaces. Is this the same one? Okay, wait, I could have just been doing this the whole time. Hold on, I'm just gonna insert a new node. Hold on, is this how that works? Okay. No. There's got to be a way. There's something I'm missing here. Hold on. There's a way to do this that I just can't remember. So I would like to copy. Hold on. I only want the surfaces. Tile surface 3. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so then what I should be able to do is we'll take tile surface 3 and we're gonna just make a connection point here. I think this. Okay, hold on. I know what we're gonna do. I need to make a. I need a guide. I'm gonna use these as guides. It just needs to fit in this corridor. Okay, and then should be able to just copy the surface. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna go drag here. Add a node, drag it all the way up here. Just need to cover it. Oh wait, yeah. Drag all the way down, just like that. And I guess part of the problem is that it doesn't align correctly. Obviously, with the because it's diagonal. Wow, this is really frustrating. This is really annoying. There's got to be a better way to do this. Oh, wait, I know. Hold on. I think the way I can do this is I actually just have to add a few nodes. Well, I'm overthinking this. Take this surface, and all you got to do is just create a new node like here. Drag it down. Drag it, create a new node, drag it over here. Okay, and then we're just going to drag this node over here, and then bring this node right there. Oops. Oh, too late now. That's okay. I kind of lost the, what's it called? The right angularness of it all, which I just realized. And now it looks kind of terrible. I think I might have messed this up again. I am not very good at this. Yeah, I think I'm not very good at this. Hold on, let's shrink it in there. I think if I just make this a little thinner, it's probably better. And maybe we shrink this down. I think one of your incisors is loose. What did you do? Do you need to go see a dentist? There we go. I think that looks okay. There we go. So there's like a secondary path that they can now use to get over there. And then I can start slapping in random buildings. I did add new... I think I downloaded new trees. I added something called the Vibrant Pack, which supposedly adds... Yeah, here we go. We can add silk floss trees, crepe maples, whatever this thing is called, a jacaranda, Japanese maples. Oh, wait, actually, this kind of look nice. Let's throw some of these here. Actually, let's space it out evenly. I want to make this look pretty. So we'll do a line tool. We'll space it out. Let's see. Hold on. Fix spacing. Too far. I think this should be like every... Let's do every 8 meters. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll just do the same thing on this side. Bing, bang, 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 boom. Done. Okay. Hey, I had to see my dentist this year. You can afford to spend to see your dentist this year too. You gotta just bite the bullet. Sometimes you don't have a choice and you just gotta do it, or else you're going to explode into a million tiny pieces and you're just gonna be like me and you're gonna have massive toothaches and you're gonna whine and complain and say, oh, woe is me. How could this have happened to me? How could I have been saved from the very easily resolvable problem? Because I was in that situation. I need a 4x6 building. Don't bite the bullet. I mean, yeah, bite the bullet. Do it. Do it. Bite the bullet. How are you doing, Dave? I need a 4x6 deep. Or inverted, one of the two. Let's see what we have. Is there anything that's 4x6 that I actually want? Something tall? Mostly European residential. Ooh, that looks pretty modern. Oh, this one. Ooh, you know what? That looks... I kind of don't hate this. It even comes with its own underground parking garage. I mean, it looks kind of weird, but it's not the worst thing. Why are we throwing things? I haven't done anything yet. Why are we abusing me by throwing things at me? I am a very normal person. Please believe me. This is a 6x6, no, 6x5. It's about 5 deep and 6 wide. Is about as big as I'm gonna get here. Wow, the only building that I can fit is a UK flats. I'm not putting that there. That looks awful. Really? Is that the only thing that I can fit? Really? There's nothing else that fits this weirdly specific size. Okay, well, if I shrink the... Oh, wait, hold on. Shrink the width by... Oh, wait, hold on. 5 by... Oh, I think I messed up. It's supposed to be 5x6 deep. There's gotta be something tall here. It's all the DLCs. Well, listen, there's always time to play if you're willing to find the time to play. Are you enjoying Battle Brothers at the very least? It's a good game. Hope you're having fun with it at the very least. Wait, here we go. These aren't really tall buildings. Oh, these are just like evolving offices. That's what these are. I don't really like any of these building designs that are for this size. What a shame. Too much Greg? What do you mean, Greg? Oh, Greg Tech. Listen, your solution is just don't play Greg Tech. Free yourself from Greg Tech and play something else. Embrace literally anything else. Oh, you know what? Actually, what if we put a small commercial building here instead? You know, I think a small commercial facility here is not the worst. And maybe it doesn't need to be a giant tower. We could put like a small commercial facility like this. Too much parking. Why do these have so much parking? Not that much parking. It could be like a nice restaurant that's just kind of on the main floor. An office maybe instead. If only followed his zone for games that are bad for him. I mean, yeah, like playing League of Legends, a very normal, family-friendly game that is a totally fine game to play with the homies. It's a cursed game. Don't do it. Don't play League of Legends. Resist the urge. Fight it off. Don't do it. Play literally anything else. You'll be happier. I don't know what I want to fit. None of these buildings. Oh, actually, wait. This. Oh, hold on. This one actually looks kind of nice. It looks a little... Oh, you know what? It's because it's from the evolving office buildings, where the office buildings slowly evolve over time and they change how they look. They kind of keep that old rustic look, but now also modern flair. I will never stream League of Legends. I've mentioned this before. I utterly refuse to stream Lego Legends. It's just not something that I have any intention of ever doing, because League of Legends is a bad game for the public. And also, I don't like playing games on stream that I think would just make me mad all the time. Yeah, I play games that make me mad, but I think League of Legends is just gonna make me like hyper mad, and so I avoid it when I can. I guess this is fine. We do need more residential, so I guess this is okay. Yeah, I mean, that looks fine, I think. Looking for something slightly wider, but I guess that's workable. Yeah, alright, that's fine. Alright, unfortunately, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this blank space here. I probably just leave it alone for now. But for now, the skyline is starting to come together with a hodgepodge of random towers that are just all over the place, and I could probably add more if I really wanted to. Like, this big one looks kind of nice. Ooh, actually, that fits. Oh, wait, that fits perfectly, actually. Hold on. Ooh, what is this building? It is a commercial mixed-use building, the Hurston Yards, an urban development featuring leisure, shopping spaces, and residential areas. Ooh. That looks kind of okay. Whoever's living there would be able to see the... Oh gosh, God, there's so many towers. Yeah, sure, why not just drop it in there? Screw it, just plop it in. The problem is that I just have all these signature buildings, and the funniest thing is that this is not even the largest area to build in. I think this area is actually a lot easier to build in. We'll probably put more ports here, or industrial, or more suburban. I don't know yet. Why, do you really want me to play League of Legends on stream? I won't do it, sorry. I'd have to be paid, like, I'd have to be sponsored by Riot in order for me to even consider playing League on stream. That's the cold, harsh reality of it all. What is this thing? An observation deck? Oh, that's kind of cute. You put an observation deck up here. Wow, that's that's weirdly detailed. Huh. What does this actually do? Adds entertainment? Sure. Can also add additional towers. These additional towers provide extra stuff for your city that they will enjoy. Oh, but you have to keep it away from the helicopter landing pads. You have to probably put it, like, across the street or something like that. Oh my lord. I think realistically this would just go on the other side, wouldn't it? We do need to expand this road. Hold on. I've been meaning to do this. This is a... God, there's so many pedestrians. The traffic is getting so bad, and I don't have any bus routes anywhere in the city. Who needs buses when you have trams? You can just walk everywhere, right? Yeah, that's how this works. I do want to build a suburban area at some point. I kind of been neglecting building anything suburban in favor of more of this ultra dense downtown area, but there's a lot of spaces here that could probably be repurposed for a proper suburban experience, quite frankly. And it's something I should probably consider fixing up. Like, I like these small areas where I can kind of just, you know, slap things down. That's why I really enjoyed building this small corner. This small corner was so much fun to put together. Yeah, it's a little messy, but hey, it's cute. There's a decent amount of people who live here. Very small amount of people who live here, but we like to pretend that it's a nice, expensive area. 68 people live here, compared to this larger area which holds 1913, this area that holds 6,000, and this one that holds only 214. I need to figure out the rest of these districting so we can see the true cost of what I have done. In fact, we put so much housing that there's no longer any demand for housing. It's time that the people really want industry and low density residential, because no one wants to live in the city. The people desire suburbia. God, how cursed is that everyone just wants to live in suburbia in the end? I guess you just can't get away from the call of having your own home. Apartments are fun, but I think being not in an apartment is also equally fun. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna build this road. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna build this road out straight at a 90. And hopefully I can just kind of slam it out all the way here. And then I need to redo this entire segment, because unfortunately the way that this was done is that it didn't like having the thing. Is that what brownstones are for? What's brownstones? Am I about to Google something weird? Brownstones. River rocks? What's brownstones? Okay, there we go. So I should be able to just the goal is I should be able to just extend this out, like, all the way through, I'd say about here-ish. And then we'll build a connecting node like this. Okay. Oh, is that what it means? They're called brownstones because the stonework is all brown. Oh, I did not know that. Well, I learned something new today. I did not know that's what that was referring to. This is a little... I need to straighten this out. Actually, wait, I have network tools. What am I doing? I need to make this a lot easier on myself. I can use this. And then... Oh, I can't smooth the curve. There's no curve smoothing tool yet. Ugh. Not ready yet. Okay, well, let's just straighten this section out. Perfect. Okay, that's fine. I've never heard of this term before. No, I'm not even joking. Is a brown terrestrial sandstone usually popular as just building material? Oh, I know what this. Okay, I know what this looks like, but I've never heard it called brownstones. But you're right. We should probably have more towns. We do need more medium density, anyways. So it's probably appropriate that we start figuring out where our medium density living is going to be. I still want to kind of keep this area like ridiculously dense with stupidly high skyscrapers and large building density. So we're probably going to not adjust these too much. You'd like to live in a... I mean, these do look pretty nice. These are very common in like... Yeah, New York City, but they're so expensive now. Like if you were to get... I think these in New York City, like a brownstone house in New York City would probably run you like $1 million minimum. Which is the craziest part. Like, it's nice because, yeah, you have your own place to call your own home. It's a row home, but, yeah, it's, they're expensive, and, like, you're gonna pay the premium. That's a dream, it's not a reality. Hey, anything can happen. You just gotta have enough hopes and dreams, right? God, I cannot get over how stupid this entire area looks. It's just so many towers. We need more small towers like this to kind of flesh out the area. But I also need to expand the highway. So, part of the problem is this farmyard. So we have this entire farmyard, which is great, but I'm wondering if it's better to actually just get rid of the farm and maybe replace this entire area with suburbia. And then we could build the farm somewhere else. Like, I could probably just plop the farms over here and it'd probably be okay for the time being, instead of keeping it here with all the other industry, is my logic. Because right now our city, I almost said colony again, good lord, what's wrong with me? Our city produces a decent amount of wheat, and we actually have a surplus of wheat. What we don't have enough of is fish, and also industry. I do want to make Farmtown offshoots. I think I'll do that off stream. I'm not really sure how I would want to make farms on stream yet. I kind of want to design them like big rice paddies, but it would require a little bit more planning and designing that I'm not ready to do on stream. But I do want to eventually purge this and replace this with probably like, see, the thing is we need, okay, one, we need to keep this rail yard, right? But the other problem is I need highway access. And right now this highway, you might notice this entire intersection is just a disaster. Obviously, we put down a few new buildings that require a metric ton of civilians to populate, and it's just, it's a mess. Like this junction just doesn't function anymore. And because the only other way they can get over into the city is they got to go all the way around near the buc-ees, and the citizens don't want to do that. And I need to find a way to finagle this to be a lot better and more stable in the long term. So that's kind of the reason why it's a hot mess. Take a look at it though. Look at this beautiful singular road. Okay, yeah. Isn't it great? It's so wonderful. It's just nothing but a giant street. It's the world's longest road. You can take it from point A to point B and everything in between, and you'd be perfectly fine. It's so awful. But yeah, unfortunately, the highway does require us to... It's disgusting and you hate it? Hey, but don't worry, we have public transit. I am trying to break up... Again, I'm going to try to break it up by adding more diagonals. I think that's one of the main issues I run into when I design things is I really, really like straight roads, but we will try to add some other things. I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do. A lot of times when I play city games, I just kind of stare at it for like a while as I try to identify what's the next project that I want to do. Right? Pinwheel designs. I've seen pinwheel designs. I just don't know how to make it look good. I think I could probably add like a connection, like a diagonal road like around here, connecting to this main street here. Part of the other issue, like I will say though, we do have a lot of pedestrians, and there's 1,500 pedestrians waiting at this tram line, which is crazy to think about. It's a bit of a tight fit is the main problem though. But it's okay. It'll be a lot better once we find a way to optimize our tram lines. See, look at that. It's great. They're just magically hopping onto this train because I guess the trams are a little too short. Maybe I need to get a better tram asset. Yes, I do want to build a town on a hill. That is one project that I would love to do. For example, this area here would make for a wonderful, like, hillside community. The problem is I just don't know how to... I think actually I know how I would do this. Unironically, you'd probably have to hook it in from one of these, like, from the dumbbell interchange, and then just, like, build, like, a weird... You know what? God. Imagine living here, and... Okay, like, I'm just trying to... One thing I like to do is I like to imagine, like, what would I do if I was living there? Imagine you're living in this area, like, as a house, and all you see... Like, you don't even wake up to seeing the ocean. No, you wake up and you see, like, gigantic buildings over there. Oh, yeah, if you want to see this town at night, here, let me show you this town at night. It might give you a little bit more of an idea of what this... How this all looks. Welcome to the city at night. It is... Oh, Jesus Christ. It is... Okay, those are way brighter than I thought. Oh my god, I didn't realize these were that bright. Oh my lord. See, a lot of the other buildings have, like, you know, darkness attached to them. But this one is just glass everywhere. So it's just a giant... It's just a giant light source. I mean, it's not the worst designed place ever. It's just very, very bright. That is so much light pollution. Yeah, like, down here, okay, it's a little more bearable, right? I mean, to be fair, I think the light sources are a little bright, but at least here, it's fine. But imagine you're living, like, I'm just trying to imagine, like, imagine you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go onto my rooftop, and then you just look outside, and it's just a giant wall of blinding lights, all connected to one another. It's so bad. You wanna go see the sky? Yeah, there's there ain't much space between the floors, really. There's not really utility space between each of that. You're right. It is just a giant unified abomination. This building is called the Hurston Yards, which I don't know what this one is actually called in real life. Hurston Yards. It's the actual building is called the Hudson Yards, and apparently it is just a giant glass monolith. Apparently the real version in real life is a lot brighter and more glassy. Yeah, I mean, it's a comical amount of light pollution, but I think it's fine. Hey, if you want to ever just chill, you can just come to the shrine at night. Actually, you know what? This shrine probably needs a bit of light. Hold on, do I have any light assets? Like a lantern? I should have something. Hold on, let me clear this out. I should have something here. Lantern. I apparently don't know how to spell lantern. Light? Oh wait, maybe it's in this category. Maybe I didn't download any lantern assets yet. I might need to go download some at some point. I would like to add a small bit of light here just to make it not so dark and grim. Let's see. Never mind, all these are not exactly ideal. Okay, a suburban sprawl. Unfortunately, we live in a place where suburban sprawl exists, so you can't really escape from it. Yeah. Alright, that's fine. Let's go back to daytime. It's easier to build in day. It's cool to look at it at night to kind of get an idea what you're doing, but daytime building is what makes the most logical sense. Okay. I'm gonna redo this entire highway junction. This highway junction is not nearly large enough to feed. So I think what I need to do is there needs to be two intersections, right? So I think my logic is that one of these has to be the intake and one of these has to be the, for lack of better words, the exit from the city. We need to start having urban designers in the US instead of just highway designers. But don't you know, just one more lane will fix all your problems. That's what Texas does. Just one more lane. Just add one more lane. One more lane. I promise it'll be fine. Medium density. You know what's funny? These are technically medium density. These are mixed medium density apartments. If you want like row homes, we can do row homes, but I don't know where I'm gonna put them is the problem. Actually, wait, I could probably put a few here. Okay, fine. We could extend it out a little bit. All right, fine. You want more medium density? We're gonna use the same one because I do like these urban promenades that do look pretty nice. So just for you, Ranu, we'll add a bit more urban promenades. How about that? Let's just do this real fast. Just for you, we'll make this look a little nicer. It is very high-techy, yes, and I do like that is kind of why I'm using them. I think these buildings need to be built in like sets of like 4x4. Wait, double check this real fast. I need to make sure this is like a 4x4. I don't think this is a 6x6. Let me double check. I don't think the urban promenades has like a 6x6 asset. Mixed use. Urban promenades. Yeah, so 4x4 or 2x2 is the minimum. Oh, you can go 4x6. That's not the center. Because there's like corner pieces, right? So you need to kind of make sure you use the correct one. Yeah. Can I make night? I could. I'd probably have to make it as a custom design rather than making it like a proper night market, I think. I'll probably just make this like a 4. Oh, wait, we could do like a 2x2 setup? Ooh, we could make like a real... Oh, wait, hold on. I think I'm having a bit of a idea here. So what am I gonna do? I'm not sure if I can make a night market. I'll see what I can come up with. Okay, so I want this to be like a... I'm gonna use 4. So that's 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is 4. Okay. But I think what I can do is I can actually upgrade this to one with parking. Because as we all know, parking is a very important aspect of real life, right? So I could make this a medium road with parking on both sides? Do I really want to add... Do I just want to add street parking? That seems awful. I feel like that's a curse. I feel like adding street parking is a curse and I shouldn't do this. I should not do this. No. We're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make myself do that. I will avoid that. You can tell the game's made by Europeans by lack thereof. What do you mean by the lack thereof of what? Of parking? Okay, so these just has to be... We're gonna use the urban promenades. I could use some of the other ones, but I think having the mixed density residential is probably a little better. I do kind of like how these look anyways. Otherwise, I was gonna use the Japanese ones and I really need to stop using them. So this has to be done in batches of 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Nope. Try again. Nope. Try again. Try again. Wait. Hold on. See what happens if I do this. I think you have to paint it like one at a time, and that's the only way to get this to work correctly. Okay, we'll do that one last. 4, 4, 4. Okay. So, I mean, to be fair, a city still needs parking. Like, technically, these people do need to have access parking, although they do also have a tram station across the street. So, it's not the worst thing. I do wish I could extend the, I wish there was a way I could build, like, a wonderful crossing, but I don't know. No, don't worry. I'm not going to do a parking lot. I think what I'd realistically do is probably just slap down one of these parking garages. I did download a few more parking garages. There was a mod I meant to download. I kind of forgot. Oh, wait. We could put the big parking tower. Nah, I kind of don't like how this... Oh, wait. Hold on. You put the parking tower in front of the tram's line? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, but anyways, here's your medium density apartment facilities that are kind of near the slightly larger Toho Business Shinjuku building. Kind of doesn't look appropriate, but it's probably acceptable. Probably also need to add some maybe medium density commercial zones at some point, but for the most part, this does function as it needs to. Honestly, I might move this tower. I actually don't like where this is located. Let's put this, for now, I'm gonna temporarily plop it here. My logic is that you should have a slope, essentially, on your skyline that kind of, like, goes from here, you know, from, like, a pyramid, right? And right now, there's too much over here, and I think we need, like, that lower, smaller building density in this region, especially because we have this city college and library. I think it should look a little more, kind of more modern, wouldn't you agree? think something like this looks a little better. And then we'll have a nice, wonderful beach area that we can kind of use for beach-related activities. I was thinking about making this like a key at some point, and then you can have like kind of, you know, bulldoze it over with some other stuff. But for the time being, this is okay. We will kind of close this out, though. This does need to be closed out. So 4, and then get rid of this road here, and we'll just kind of extend this out like that. But yeah, unfortunately, the citizens demand parking. Who am I to deny them access to, well, their desire for vehicle-based transportation? Unfortunately, I'm not like you, Ranu, who can design a city that just strictly survives solely on public transit. No, I must add vehicles. Vehicles are necessary for our long-term survival. I was gonna add here. Anything fun? Any other buildings that don't look stupid? God, I could just put another stupid apartment building. I mean, some of these don't look that bad. Like, some of these actually look kind of okay. But it really... Oh, Jesus Christ. Some of these just look a little insane. Like, some of these require, I think, a certain vibe. What is this, like 6 deep? Oh, wait, I have an idea for this. 6 deep. This one is 4 deep. What if we do 4? Oh, hold on. Oh, you know what I forgot, by the way, since I should probably pay attention to this. Let's take a look at our education. Ah, we do not have enough school slots for everyone, so there's a lot of people that just don't have a place to attend school. Unsurprisingly, we may need to fix that. Otherwise, we will have an uneducated workforce. And that would be not ideal, and I would prefer to have a workforce that actually knows what they're doing. So, let's see. I don't know why YouTube keeps recommending me like really garbage videos. Military songs and Girls and Panzer, Persona, Anno 1404. I can't listen to Toho Bossa Nova. I need like Nintendo Music Collection. How about that? Let's see what Google provides. Let's see what YouTube provides me. Calming music, beautiful songs, cheerful music. Oh, how about that? To make you happy like Yoshi. That sounds fun. Perfect. That's the brain empty music we're looking for. Okay. So, what kind of school should we put in here? We could put a smaller educational facility. I need an elementary school. We could probably try to put an urban one as well. This is like an urban elementary school. You don't need those brain cells. That's fine. You'll be okay. Let's think an urban one. What else we got? Mediterranean. Eastern European school block design. This holds a grand total of 1,500 elementary students. I feel like if you're in elementary school downtown, you probably have access to like more expensive school options. What I'm not going to do is put the American elementary schools because they're like comically large and doesn't make sense. But I do need an elementary school, and unfortunately, I don't know which one I want to add. We're not going to use the Japanese one. Urban probably makes the most sense. Although community one also is okay, although it's way smaller. City elementary. City elementary can be extended out. I mean, I guess this is prime real estate. You wouldn't put a school there. You'd probably put the school somewhere back here. You have no idea why line here comes up when someone mentions Soviet stuff. I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. Maybe you just really enjoy talking about Soviet things. We're not here to criticize your choices. Ooh, hold on. What if I extend this out here? We would turn this into a roundabout, which is probably not what I want to do. Probably extend this road out. It's a very awkward angle, though. That's a very tight turn. Oh, I have an idea. Hold on. We can do something a little different. Let's do a continuous curve. Yeah, let's try to do some curvature. That's not every road ever has to be straight all the time. And I think that's something I need to learn. Oh, darn it. So I think something like that it's a little awkward. but it's fine. And then what I'm gonna do is that this is premier beachside parking, similar to what we did in the other area. I think is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna turn this into... Is this the only one that I have? Oh, shoot, it is. It's an alley. Okay, so yeah, premier beachside parking. Probably something going on over here that we'll have to adjust at some point. And then this road, this avenue needs to be duplicated. And then we'll just crank it down. Oh no, I'm falling into the grid again. I can't get away from the grid. Please save me from the grid. Oh wait, I have an idea. Since we are using a lot of 4-lane roads, I think what I can do is I'm just gonna arbitrarily pick a distance, and I'm just gonna build a whatever gets me to 135. Oh, you know what? This looks like an accident waiting to happen, right? Like, I'm not crazy. I feel like this is an accident just waiting to happen. Can I delete? I mean... maybe I shouldn't have done that, because now it just kind of floats and doesn't really make sense. 4-lane, 2-lane, yeah. Yeah. No, we're gonna finagle that a little bit. We're gonna make it look a little better. It's not gonna look terrible. There we go. We're adding some depth to it, right? Some depth is what the people want. They want some vibes. We're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna start replacing these with like 2-lane streets. I think is fine. This is really some good shut brain off music. I kind of dig it. Just full send to middle. And I bet you that doesn't even look right. Nope. All right, great. Oh, I see why. It's not lined up correctly. But this is lined up correctly. Delete this. If anyone takes it over its head. Yeah, I'm trying to not have our citizens explode on contact. I think I'd prefer if they get to live a little bit longer. I drop this like all the way to 135. 135 angle is probably what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. There we go. So we're adding depth to our city. Our city is not just a monotonous grid. There's actual vibes to it. At least that's what I'm gonna tell myself. That's what I'm gonna lie and tell myself. I think what normal people do when they play this is that they actually design the city out first before they start doing even a little bit of zoning. I have completely chosen to ignore that logic and just went straight into the just build it as you go vibe. Okay, what am I putting in here? What am I putting in this one? All right, how about medium density? That's not the urban promenades. I guess we can just plop down some typical apartment buildings. Let's see. What if I just mass zone this? Good enough. Some normal apartments. Don't worry, we're still gonna add bus stops eventually. When I get around to it. God, every time I look at this, I'm like, wow, I really don't know what I'm doing. And now this corner, I think what I'm gonna do is I should be able to add a elementary school here that doesn't look the worst thing ever. So the question is, what elementary school am I throwing in here? An urban elementary, a community element. Ooh, this actually looks kind of nice. It seems really small though, only holds 600. Can this be expanded? Wait, this is as big as it gets. Only holds 750. Ooh, maybe that's too small. This would make more sense in a more suburban area, but maybe it's a little too... Well, actually, hold on, no. This might actually be fine. This is the more dense urban. We'd probably have to put a urban elementary school somewhere here, but this, because it's a little higher density, or a little lower density, this might actually be okay. What do you think? Do you think this is fine? Or is it too tiny? Do we need something bigger? I really need to find some better school assets, I think. Let's see, what else we got? I definitely need to add schools, though. We need schools. Ruby Rock Elementary is really small, can't be upgraded. Urban Elementary, Japanese Town Elementary. This would be kind of funny if it's too small. UK Suburban Primary. This is very much your Northeastern America. This actually looks okay. This actually doesn't look that bad. Yeah, you know what? Hold on. I think that looks fine. And then you put an extra floor on top of it. It looks a little more urban. And then, because it is a school, teachers do need parking, and I can't just have them parking here. So this is one of those weird situations where I think, yeah, my logic is that, yes, you probably should add small shops here. In fact, that's not exactly what, you basically know exactly what I was going to do. I was going to put a few small, light, low-density commercial zones, kind of like hanging around here. Like this section here can be low-density commercial. And then we'll just need to finagle the rest of this. Oh, look, our apartment building. Oh my gosh, look at that. We're just getting a variety of buildings, aren't we? That is... I don't know how to feel about how this looks. But there is parking, which does make sense. You do need some urban parking. As much as we hate parking, parking is a requirement. Especially for a school, you would probably have like superintendents and whatnot, like higher end members of the school board parking somewhere along these lines. I'm sure it's not like a 2x... Ooh. A gravel lot? I guess we could put a gravel. We will put parks too, don't worry. Oh. You know what? That fits weirdly enough perfectly. Okay, we'll do that. And then... I don't know what I was gonna do here. I think what I wanted to do initially was put a few small businesses, like a few small shops that are kind of by the seaside would probably make sense, but now I'm debating if that is in fact the correct thing to do. Let's see. Low density waterfront businesses is what I'm looking for. We'll use the EU ones to have a bit of variety. We can probably just plop them down like this. Just don't connect it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and that's probably okay. And then, as we probably need more police, we'll throw a small police box wherever I can fit this stupid thing. Actually, one thing you could do is you could probably just, to kind of make things look a little more nice, you could probably just merge the buildings in. Like, this koban actually looks like it would fit in perfectly here, right? It's not the worst idea. It might not look correct, but I do think it is probably reasonable that you could probably merge a koban somewhere like this. Or I could put it at a proper police station. Let's see, what are the needs of the citizens? Let's see. I like looking at the needs. Okay, so we need a high school now. The problem is I don't know where I'm gonna put a high school. What are my high school choices? High schools are expensive. Alright, let's see. For high schools, we could put a modern high school. You know what, this actually doesn't look that bad. This could legitimately fit here, and it would be fine. If I wasn't planning on extending out that way, this actually might... Oh, you know what? Hold on. You have the high school as like the centerpiece of this corridor. Would not... It's a little awkward, but it's functional? Ooh. Wait, hold on. The French high school... I think... I will say, I don't know if anyone's ever been to an American city, but I will say this asset here, the USA Southwest High School, is very accurate to the size of like how much land an American high school actually takes. It is so comically large because the US just has so much land that they're just like, yeah, we need a big school, so here's a big school plop yard. This actually doesn't look that bad. Maybe this urban high school center like that is fine. It does look a little modern. You could probably throw in an extension floor and I guess a rooftop sports park, I guess, for the vibes. Yeah, okay. That looks like a fine addition to the city. Maybe I might want to move it. Let's see. Jesus Christ, maybe I put it over here. No, I want to keep it a little segregated from the offices over there. But the schools should be probably next to... Okay. Your high school was across the street from a middle school. Your middle school is actually a new facility in the high school. Oh, interesting. Huh. I mean, I guess that makes... I mean, that is kind of interesting, though. To be fair, I think that's a good use of essentially, like, reusing buildings, right? That's good. That's a good idea to reuse buildings. I kind of want to build an inner-city bus network, and I might have screwed myself out of putting an inner-city bus network. Take a look at our public transit. I don't know what our public transit lines look like. They're probably a disaster. Okay. So, yeah, you might notice there's not a lot of public transit. We got some taxis that are trying to come in, but beyond that, it's mostly relying on the tram lines to kind of do what we need done, which itself is a bit of a mess. So there's like a tram line there, and then obviously we got the rest of this over here. Thankfully, this bus line does seem to be doing things. It's not doing a lot, but it's doing enough. Okay. God, this is such a mess. I don't know how I'm gonna fix this. This is always the problem when it comes to city design. How do you fix the disaster that you create from poor planning? And you can see every person immediately wants to start using the any open parking spaces that spawn because they're so desperate. How's the buc-ee station, by the way? There's a decent amount of people hanging around here. Yeah, we're getting passengers. I don't know why this is so low. I might need to switch the tram. Hold on. Switch the tram line 1. I want to change the vehicle. Maybe that's just how trams are. I might need to download a new asset for this type of thing. It'd be better if I could use like a proper train asset, but I unfortunately made it trams, and to retrofit this entire thing to be an above-ground rail system isn't impossible, but it would require a decent, substantial re-rigging of how this is all designed, and I'm not sure if that's something I'm wanting to do right now. Although, if we do that, we could swap the look over to like one of the Yamanote line trains. By the way, in my experimenting, I did discover why the trains were freezing up. I think it was something to do with like some of these train lines are just weirdly like, okay, yes, here's the issue. Like, I don't know why this keeps happening. Part of it is because some of these rails are actually one-way, and it's causing a huge amount of issues because it's one-way. And the only way to fix it is you have to finagle it. And I think this is why you don't use two-way, one-lane tracks. It just causes a huge headache, and you don't want to do that ever. And the only way to fix it is you have to go in and finagle it until it looks correct, and that requires a lot of effort, and I haven't bothered doing that yet. So you can see, like, right here, trains are just stuck everywhere right now. Because I think these trains don't know how to exit. And I was initially doing it as like a 2-lane, but I think all these tracks have to just straight up be upgraded to 2-lane tracks. It's the only way to fix this thing. So we're just gonna quickly finagle this a little bit. It's a bit of a mess, so forgive me while I try to fix my rail network, please. It's the only way. Okay. So that's fixed, and now it's got a new route. Yeah, some of them were pre-made on the map, and that's the issue. And then, so you can see now they're starting to, you know, hop on out. So we can fix that one too. Oh, this one should be grounded. And then just gonna drag this all the way out. Yeah. Unfortunately, some of this will be a little janky. The tunnel is probably the biggest issue that I have. I don't know how I have to manually fix the tunnel, but for the time being, that should be fine. Okay, this one also needs a bit of fixing. We just have to kind of follow the giant stack of trains until we can figure out where the hang-up is. As you can see, it's a very, very, very long pile-up. And that's why our exterior train network is not really doing anything. Okay, it's the breakage is somewhere here. Yeah, let's see. And I don't know how to fix this at this point. It's just really the easiest solution is just delete the track and then just rebuild it. It's dumb, but I don't know what else to do. See? Look. See? Look at all those trains. They were completely stuck. So now they're slowly flowing back in, and hopefully this will fix it, but they're coming in like one at a time. Yeah, see, there's a giant pile up here. That's not normal. This is not how trains operate. This is not how this should be at all. This is a mess. See? But once a few trains start clearing, this hopefully doesn't happen again. It's gonna start unsnaking itself, and you know, we should be fine. But unfortunately, yeah, there's not a lot of like proper rail signaling in City Skylines. It's not a function of the game. We're just working whatever the game gives me. So I think that is what's causing a lot of the hang-ups in the game. So if I just let it slowly fix itself, it should be okay. There's a lot of spaces for urban towns. Oh my goodness, we don't have enough hearses. Okay, so fun fact, because our city has so many people dying, we need to actually build more death care facilities. I've been kind of ignoring crematoriums, but I think it might be time to add the Great Buc-ee's crematorium. I could add a cemetery, but there's not really space on the island for a cemetery, so cremating is probably the best solution to our woes. I think for now, because I don't know where else it was, I'm just going to slap a crematorium here and then hope that this is enough to kind of handle the excess death care, and we'll move this at a later point. I just need something to take care of the dead. All right, what else do we need? Now that we fixed the school problem, what's next? Ah, city services, okay. So, we don't have any welfare coverage. Do we need welfare coverage? Do we need to take care of the poor and downtrodden in the city? Probably not, but I guess we're not terrible, evil people. We should probably consider, you know, welfare offices to ensure that even the downtrodden in life have opportunities to survive in these trying times of change and evolution, or something to that effect, which I believe is under police, under administration. I could put a welfare office. I don't really want to put a welfare office, though, is the problem. Actually, I kind of want to add more apartment buildings. I want to see if I can crank the population of the city to like at least 50k by the end of today's stream. Really, the solution is you just keep slapping down more facilities that your citizens want. I will add a bus stop. Oh gosh, I should add a bus stop here. I just want to say though, look at how useful this state. Look at how much this tram line is being used. Isn't it wonderful? Look at it. It's just so everyone wants to use the tram. There's so many people walking around. If anything, yeah, there's a lot of cars, but there's also a lot of people just walking. And I think that's a really good thing. It's really the main issue is when people are coming in and out of the city for the first time, that our grid just gets completely locked out, and that's the main struggle that we run into. And all of our hearses are in use too. All right. You know what? How would I build a... I know Immortal said do a tunnel, but I'm wondering if I could build a small mountaintop city or like township over here. You know what? I think that'll be a fun project. Let's try that. To kind of give us a bit of a break from the monotony of whatever else I was just doing. Oh, so I am running out of money, so we may need... We are running out of money quickly. This is Pokemon. I know this is Pokemon. Primarily because our electricity usage is going way up, and I need to find a way to fix that. So, do we build the Great Buc-ee's solar plant, or do we build the Great Buc-ee's nuclear power facility? This is Gen 5, yeah. I could put a giant nuclear power plant here and it'd probably be fine. The other option is I could try to hunt down underground water and use a geothermal plant instead. But I don't think there's that much geothermal water options. Yeah, there's not really any groundwater deposits. Yeah, the developer didn't put any. I could probably add my own if I really wanted. But how are you doing, Xanth? Other choice is just add more wind turbines. I guess adding more wind turbines is not the worst idea. But I do need a dedicated power supply. I guess a nuclear power facility would make the most sense, but I'd have to basically cull this entire... Oh my gosh, there's not... If I make this a big port, yes, I could make this a giant... Okay, hear me out. we make this a proper port area, right? With the correct keys and everything. And I just add this gigantic nuclear power plant. We can either go green and put a solar plant, or we could go absolutely insane and basically say that this data center is powered by a giant nuclear power plant. What do we think? Solar or nuclear? Are they about the same size? I think they might be about the same size. Hold on, we're gonna use this as like a measuring point. It's about that line of trees. Nuclear? Okay, so we'll build nuclear. Right, who's ready to see me build it? I'm gonna turn this into a proper port facility type situation. So the way I've learned to do this, at least from watching YouTube videos and the way I've done it in a previous save, is just go do this. We're gonna take this, gonna crank this up, and we're just gonna more or less, just gonna level this out like here. Yeah, there we go. Solar would be kind of cool, I would agree, but I think right now we do need more power more than anything else. What do you mean put it away from the city? You mean I can't just put it on a port? No, we're gonna put it like right here. Oh my gosh, we're so... Whoa, hello. Yeah, we're running out of... We're completely out of power. Oopsies. Whoa, how bad is our electricity problem? Oh, it's really bad. It's really bad. No. We have a 100% for sure safe nuclear power plant that will never have any Oh my gosh, I still need to make it bigger. Okay, hold on. All right, I know what I need to do. We're gonna take this road that I made. We're gonna extend it out a little bit, and then I need to extend it out. This music is incredibly brain rotty. We're gonna extend this out. I need a 135-degree angle. Exactly. An RKBM reactor can't explode. Something 3.5 Rotgun or 3.6 Rotgun. Not great, not bad. Something along those lines. I watched the show. All right, there we go. Just gonna extend this out like that. Okay, so now I know this is a guaranteed proper angle. So then the only thing I gotta do is I need to expand out the... Well, you know what? This is not a place where lobbying exists. This is not a wonderful democracy where the citizens can tell me what they want. No, this is a dictatorship. I am a cruel tyrant who is basically trying to develop totally not Singapore / Japan / America. What is it? It's a country with the aspects of 3. Terrible as it may be. That is how we function. Oh my god. Oh, I really need this much land. Why does this require so much land? Would a solar farm use less? Oh my gosh, I think a solar farm would actually use less land. Alright, whatever. I'm committed to the bit. I'm committed to the bit. We're gonna do this. I'm committed. Yeah, I'm committed to making this stupid thing a reality. Does it make sense? Not really. Is it funny? Yeah. For me it is anyways. Okay. Okay, so this is probably... I think it needs to... Hold on. The easiest way to do this is just go bigger than you need and then just shrink it down as necessary. So we're just going to expand this out a little bit more. Okay, just expand this out and we'll shrink it down. And then power. Let's put a nuclear plant because, yeah, the whole city is like... Oh, gosh. It's still not enough land! Okay. There we go. Oh my goodness, that took forever. All right, here we go. Let's, okay, here's our power. Here's our abomination of a power plant. This costs us $1 billion to run, by the way, per month, as an FYI. Okay. So the other thing, too, is we need to actually hook this into our network. So now I gotta find a way to finagle. Probably just keep all the power lines underground. The easiest way to do this. Can I run this over here? Okay. Does that fix our power problem? Probably not. This thing is producing 878 watts of power. I think... wait, actually, shit. I think most of it's being used by the data center. I'm not saying all of it's being used by the data center, but I'm just gonna say the data center is using a decent amount of power. I think, oh, I see the problem. There's actually not enough substations here. You need substations to actually distribute the electricity, and I kind of forgot about that. So we do need a small substation to kind of transform our electricity into something actually usable over here. Otherwise, the grid is just completely overloaded, and that's kind of the main problem. It's not really a nice substation building, though. They all look really ugly. Why do all the substations have to look ugly? I guess for now, I'm just gonna put this one here. And then I just need to run a power line the deep electricity state like this. There we go. All right, our power problems have been solved, and it only took me building an entire nuclear power plant. All right, we gotta make this look neater. So here's my plan. Essentially, this entire section here is being turned into a key. And that's probably the cleanest way for me to do this. I think I'm saying that's right. It's a key. I'm just gonna turn this entire frontage into a key. And then we're going to I think, build another path. I think it's a wide pavement path to make this ground level, please. That's not ground level. I'm just trying to hook it in like this, but it doesn't want to. There's something weird about these nodes. It's just not... It does not look correct. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just weirdly broken. That's not what I want. How do I make... What if I copy this one? See what I mean? Like, I don't know what happened here. Like, this terminus node is just... It's super jank. But if I cut it across, then it looks okay. That's so weird. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, well, what if I just leave it like that and I just move the nodes? Does that work? Maybe? And then I need a... It is super funky. Like, none of this works the way I want it to work is part of the problem. And short of, like, finagling with surfaces, I don't really want to mess with it that much. Let's see, hold on. We're gonna leave that like that for now. And then... Now that this is resolved, I can go find my stupid land tool, shrink down the brush size, and we're gonna basically bring it all the way down to sea level. And then if I unpause, the water should start flowing in there. There we go. The water flows a little slowly, unfortunately, but this is the easiest way to... Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I don't know why it's not shifting flat. I don't... Oh, does it not want to when if it's a key? That's really interesting. It's like a smooth slope. I mean... Okay, that's fine. I will say, though, the noise coming out of this generator is a little loud and obnoxious, which I guess should not be a surprise. Okay, what if I do like this, and then I use the key tool here? Oh, it would use the whole thing. It's not the whole node. Oh, shoot. I need to insert a node, like right about here. Okay, so now that I have a node there, I should be able to turn this into a key. Yeah, that's not working the way I thought it would work, unfortunately, so I have to find a way to fix this. Hello, Ray. Yes, you used to send me something on Discord, I'm sure. Oh no, it's because I accidentally switched to the swimsuit outfit. Sorry. There we go. Oh no, what have I done? There we go. I just want to finagle this. Let's see, I want to make it like straight, but I can't. Like, the game is not terribly fond of that. I haven't... Oh, wait, hold on, I have an idea. So what if I make it look like... Okay, there's got to be a way to make this look nice. Hold on. Okay, here's my logic. If I do like this, right? Oh god. What am I doing? Hold on. Okay, so this is a little janky, but I think what I can do is we're gonna do this, and then this corner here, I think to make it look a little less terrible, I'm just going to put a bunch of rocks. That's right. When in doubt, just put a bunch of boulders. Big, beautiful boulders that this is what the pioneers used to navigate through society. Just put a bunch there to, I don't know, make it look a little fuller, and it'll probably be fine. And then just adjust the elevation with like page up, page down. Oh boy. I just need to adjust this in small increments, please. There we go. Just a little too high. Just maybe shrink it down a couple of meters like that. Yeah, there we go. I think this will be probably fine. It's not just any boulder. It's a rock. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles. Just throw a few more random stones of various sizes here. There we go. That doesn't look terrible anymore. It's a little janky, but it kind of gets the vibe across, right? I think this highway might be a... Well, to be fair, the game is moving at a super high speed, so that's kind of why. Okay, I need to straighten this road a little bit. I need to find network tools. I gotta finagle this back into... I gotta beat this road back into submission after all the nasty things that I've done to it. There we go. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm beating the roads back into submission. Okay. This thing has such a ridiculous noise profile, by the way. It's actually insane. It generates a lot of noise pollution, but no ground or air pollution. So, I mean, to be fair, it makes sense that you'd probably put this next to the great buc-ee's data center because they're both stupidly loud anyways. So, the people who are coming to visit, they get a nice hum of that. You know what you know what you get with your beaver nuggets? You get a little bit of that delicious radiation. You know, hot new product. Available only today at your local buc-ee's. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I need to expand this out a little bit. I know what I'm gonna do next, so we're just gonna finish. I'm gonna basically build a ring road using this, following along. Oops. And following along the exterior of the nuclear plant. We're just gonna do something like this. And then, oh, that's wrong design. Let's get rid of that one. Slightly further up. And then, there we go. Look at that. Look at how beautiful this nightmarish abomination is. Truly one of the greatest designs a city ever has. Yes, that's right. We for some reason decided putting a nuclear reactor next to a city like this was a good idea, and this will truly not have any long-term unintended consequences for our civilians. Well, as long as nothing bad happens, like a nuclear meltdown, this should be fine. Yeah, I think as long as there's no nuclear meltdown, I think we should be Gucci. Right? It's not like... I do have disasters disabled, so we're not ever gonna run into like a... what do you want to call it? Like what are those nasty things called? Tsunamis? Yeah, we're not gonna run into a tsunami anytime soon. So we'll be perfectly fine. I will upgrade this into a key. Ooh. There we go. Look at that. Nice, beautiful keys. I did do a Prison Architect stream, like once, a long time ago. Well, I think it was actually this year. It should be on YouTube. I mean, that actually doesn't look that bad. I think this looks somewhat reasonable in terms of design. It's a little cursed, but I mean, I've done worse, I think. And I think this is probably one of the more normal things I've done. Okay, I do need to shrink this down even further. We're gonna flatten this out a little bit, flatten the land, make it a little bit better. And then just try to shrink it in. Too low to the water. Oh god, no, this is fine. This is perfectly fine. Look at that. That's like maybe 1 or 2 meters above the ocean surface. Perfectly fine. I will drink, don't worry. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine. Nothing bad will happen. And you know what? The buc-ee's has been getting more and more business ever since we put the data center near it. Look at that. It's making $600 dues a month. All because people actually want to go visit this wonderful attraction. In fact, we should probably add more attractions. What else would you want to have near a giant buc-ee's, realistically? What touristy things can we slap down? A modern art museum and a lighthouse. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. This actually doesn't look that bad. You could actually put a lighthouse here. You know what? Actually, hold on. No, this is actually not a bad idea. So I think we can create lore. And I think the lore here is that this used to be a lighthouse point, but now we've kind of turned it into a business park slash buc-ee's slash nuclear power plant. But we still keep the old lighthouse here as a remembrance of what this place actually was once for. And you can even see the civilians who are walking around the stupidly loud data center and nuclear power plant because, of course, why not? See? Perfectly fine and reasonable. Okay, we gotta figure out the rest of this nonsense. Alright, we gotta slap down more buildings, more housing. So I think what I do want to make is I want to make a key that kind of flows around this backside here. But it'll be a proper road key. And it'll maybe terminate around this section here. I'm a being of chaos. I like to think of myself more as a being of esoteric design. That's truly what it is. It's all about esoteric design. Well, this could fit in there if I was like willing to finagle this. The problem is that the street's here. I could probably combine into like a super node and probably be fine. Actually, you know what? Hold on, I might do that. I want to... Chicago has what we call Lake Street, or Lakeshore Avenue, and I think I want to make like an ocean shore avenue that kind of flows along here. We'll probably use like a 2-lane road for this, and it'll probably look a little bit nicer than some of the other things. We may need to expand the... I need to probably dig this out a little bit, so we're just gonna dig this out just a touch. I don't want to destroy those buildings, is like my main goal. We want to avoid destroying when we can. Okay, so I think if I do this, we'll just finagle a 2-lane road right around here, and then carve it underneath. Something like this, and then we'll probably do a slight curvature. Yeah, okay, and then I think at this point we'll probably just do some very gentle curves. We won't use the continuous curve tool. I think we'll just do very deliberate turns like this, and then we'll do... What is this? Like, we'll probably use like 24 meters as like our benchmark for turn radii or something, and just trying to follow along like that. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. 24. 24. Okay, something... I'm thinking something like this is probably fine. And then you'd probably have a connection point somewhere along here. And this is where it's going to get a little disgusting. I'm going to do something that I haven't really tried before, but I am kind of curious to see if this works. I'm going to merge these nodes. I've never used this function. There's a function... I have a mod called Network Tools that allow you to do the same thing that you would do in City Skylines 1, where you can kind of finagle the network nodes and try to force them to do things that you're not really supposed to do with the game, but I'm gonna force it to do it anyways, because at this point, why not? Okay, so let's see if this works. So essentially, I'm trying to merge these two into one super intersection, which does happen in real life. I mean, yeah. I don't have a way to... I need another mod that lets me, like, pull some of these back, but, I mean, that does function. It looks... This is such an awful intersection. My God. The thing is, like, this is like legitimately an intersection you'd probably find in real. I have seen intersections like this in real life. It just looks super janky if you're not used to it. But this is a legitimate intersection, I promise. Okay, and then now that we're back to this abomination here that I've been trying to finagle, same thing before, just gonna convert a bunch of these into keys. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly. Yes, this gets turned into a key, this gets turned into a key, this entire section, basically all the way through here gets turned into a fat key. Then we're just gonna dig the ground back out again. More excavation shenanigans, just like that. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Ooh. As the water fills it up and makes it look a lot more appropriate. Now we've got a nice little waterfront area to kind of enjoy. I'm a fat pea. No, I'm saying a key. You're a key. I can't believe this. Let's see. I want to shrink this down a little bit, so I'm gonna shrink here. Ooh. That actually looks okay. Soften this a little bit. Maximum brush strength. See, look at that. Now we have a beautiful lake shore drive type deal, and we'll just make it look a little prettier. We'll throw in the grass in the center avenue, mostly to make it look a little better, just like that, and throw in some trees to kind of flesh it out, just like that. Okay, so now the question is, what do we put in by the lakefront? I'll tell you what we're gonna put. We're gonna put more apartment buildings, more high-density residential, because that's what the people demand. Or do we put offices? All right, offices or high-density residential is the question. Did I know Yiddish key and Yiddish means? I did not, actually. That is new information to me. Ooh, actually, I have an alternative idea that might also be kind of interesting. These could be high-end... Oh wait, I meant to make this road parallel to this one, but I didn't. I guess that's fine. Not all roads have to be parallel. We can accept mistakes. What if we put row houses here? These are like the super high-end rich people living area with the super nice high-density row homes. Ooh. High-density row homes? Only here? Found only in this part of the city? That might not be a bad idea. Hold on, let me see what do the row homes look like. I am kind of curious what row home options I have. Let's see, I think they're medium density row homes. It's not showing me any of them. Here we go. Okay, so what do we have? Let's see. I want to see what we have at 5 deep. We have North American residential row homes that look like this. Ooh, you know what? Because this is Pokemon, unironically. Yeah, this is actually Pokemon soundtrack. You know what? I actually like this idea. I think this actually would be perfect to have row homes here. Because this is like, we can say this like, oh, this is where the richer people live. It hasn't been gentrified yet, and it's just still like just nice row homes that have been here for forever. It's like a historic section of town. Oh, I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. I think realistically, you'd probably still have giant fat towers. But I also think the logic would be, hey, these people just have want the oceanfront view. Because unfortunately, these towers don't get that high. What if I get an apartment? What's a medium-sized building? Anything that's like a medium-sized apartment doesn't look terrible. That actually doesn't look that bad. What if we go 5 deep? Ooh, you know what? Like an oceanfront property? It's probably okay to do this, right? Or probably like 4 deep. Wait, ooh, some of these look kind of... I think these should just be standard apartments, quite frankly. I think the row home idea was kind of cute, but it's not necessary. I do have some ideas though. What if we put one of these? One of that, and then can I put them? Is there like a centerpiece? Not really a centerpiece to this. I thought there was a centerpiece. What would fit in here? It'd have to be 4x4. That looks actually not the worst thing I've ever done. That actually looks acceptable. Some small apartments, and then probably maybe over here you have a little bit of like high density commercial. Because the high density commercial is kind of tiny anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Probably just slap down. I'll just bucket fill this. Let's see what it puts. But oceanfront high density commercial buildings would probably look kind of banger here. And then I think this corner I would probably try to slot in a park in this area. Let's see what park I could fit in here. There's a circular park building I've been wanting to put, this park cafe, which perfectly enough fits in here just right. Probably disconnect that from the snapping. I want to just kind of finagle this in here until it fits just right. Yeah, we're kind of just using a Nintendo brain off music, as if you're wondering what we're listening to. There we go. That looks fine. We have a nice little seaside dining park thingy, and we should probably get rid of these trees that are in the way, because holy cow, the trees will just literally never go away. I don't know why the trees just don't disappear. Maybe something like the road tools that I'm using, but every time I build a road, the trees just kind of stay there. It's like the trees have a mind of their own and they refuse to go disappear to the void. I have to manually click each one of these stupid things, and because I don't think trees should be sprouting out of your street. Maybe in my cities they do, but maybe not in the actual game. Oh, is it because of anarchy? It's always anarchy. Ugh. Sorry, I have to use anarchy though. Look at the trees that are in the ocean. Let's just purge those, purge those. All right, there we go. See, that actually doesn't look that bad. Yeah, we got some commercial buildings. We got some nice stuff. I'd probably just throw in like a... I'd probably throw another police box in here. You know what's really funny about these police boxes? They only hold one worker, which is kind of funny, honestly. Actually, they have 4, but there is one cop car attached to each of these. Although I don't like how that surface looks, so just to make this look a little neater, I'm probably gonna just at least make this a little better. Give it a nice proper ground with like this tile. There we go. Just try to give that Koban something nice. Oh my gosh, I love this theme. This is Teresa's theme from Octopath Traveler, a very good game. I do recommend ever playing it if you've ever not played Octopath Traveler. Fantastic game. I love it. It's one of my favorite RPGs that have come out in recent memory. Oh wait, I know. I'm gonna make this look pretty nice. Let's see here. I think realistically, you'd probably put like a bench. Put like a small parquet here. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll put a small... Let's see, what would you put at this small pavilion? Trash bin. Maybe a vending machine or two, maybe a few benches. Let's see. Like a nice public bench, kind of like hanging out here. Oh my goodness, the game hanging ups are just so annoying. Yeah, look at that. See, that looks fine. Throw a vending machine if I can figure out where the vending machine assets are, because I never know where half the assets are. I download so many assets and I don't know where they are, and I have to keep searching for them here. It's the only way to find half of them. Okay, so then throw like a vending machine, a random vending machine. I kind of don't like how that looks. Probably just throw a vending machine like this in here. You probably have one around the corner. I will say I don't like the fact that all my vending machines have been red so far. The white one would probably make a little more sense. I thought I downloaded one, but I guess I didn't. I played the game on a 10850K with a 3080. That's basically it. Can I not recolor this? I cannot. How tragic. Oh, this game, it was primarily on the Switch, although I believe it is now available on Steam. So, There's a second one that came out, and there's also like a third game called Zero that was essentially like a redo of the mobile game that was a lot more modernized and also more accessible, which is the one I would probably want to try at some point. I mean, this actually doesn't look that bad. I think this actually looks kind of good. What do you think, comrades? How do you feel about my beautiful city abomination? I could put a bus center probably over here, honestly. Move this tower back here. Put a bus center somewhere near the... Let's see. Octopath Traveler. Could put a city bus station. This one, I think, goes underground, which is really annoying. Small bus station. Large... Ooh, that's a little chunky, though. This one, I believe, does the... It's a sunken terminal. A lot of sunken terminal assets, which are fine, but not exactly what I'm looking for. Also, the fact that this thing is, like, way more... Actually, this actually might not be a bad idea. Hold on, I'm gonna move this tower again, because I'm gonna use the power of God to just, move this around. I'm also gonna move the, immediately filled up high school kind of over here for now. Okay. I'm wondering if a sunken bus terminal makes sense here. Because we do need a bus stop, but this would put it... Oh gosh, the entrance would be really stupidly close to the that intersection, to the point I'd probably make that a super node. Though on the other hand, if I do this, we'd have bus stops that would take us... So, because again, I'm trying to do like an hierarchy of public transit. And my logic is that the trains take people from outside the city in, trams move people between the dense, like each dense part of the city, and then the buses are for the within the city bits, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, I might need to download a better bus station. I don't like some of these. I already used this one. I don't want to use that one again. That is... Oh my, that is big. I kind of want to put it. But it doesn't make sense. I think this one would make more sense if we were building a city center over here, but this one requires something a little bit more compact. So maybe... Well, I'm going to save the game before I build this. If I'm going to build something, I want to make sure it is going to function and it's not going to explode on contact. Because if I don't, whatever I put may break the game in half, and I want to avoid that. Also, Ray did send me something. Ah, yes. Oh, I guess that's a... Ray's been playing Persona 3. She's sending me Persona 3 things. Okay, so I think I can put this here. Hold on. Let's see what Anarchy says. All right, so if I put this down here, how does that look? Okay, wait, hold on. I think if I use the key. No. I think this needs to be a retaining wall, weirdly enough. And then probably just flatten it down? I think that would make sense, right? Like, this should be retaining wall. Or at least up to this section here. And I'd probably extend the road out on this side, maybe. Wrong one, I need this one. And weirdly enough, without Anarchy, this is perfectly valid, so I think this would go here. And then this small smidgen of road should not be a key. Also, I'm running into the same issue again, where it keeps trying to put down the stupid, what do you want to call this thing? It keeps trying to put this, node here that I don't really want, because now they're trying to force it into, like, a roundabout, which is really awkward. I'll leave it for now, but that's not what I want. Ugh. This actually doesn't look that bad. I mean, is the Steam sale still ongoing? Maybe you could just... Yeah, I don't actually know if the Steam sale's still ongoing. Can I shrink this land, or is it not... Can I not edit it because it's already part of a building? I might not be allowed to edit this. Otherwise, I would love to just sink this all the way in. Oh, you can. Kind of. It's about as flat as I can make it. I can't really push it against all the way, which is really awkward. I thought you would be able to. It's like trying to force a slope that I don't really want. What if I shrink it down even further? Oh, you know why? Because, okay, I see what's happening. All right, hold on. Because it's a retaining wall. It'd have to be a key. I think this actually does have to be a key. Yeah, so if I make this a key, and then make this a key, and then I should be able to just dig the ground out all the way, like this. That's fair enough, honestly. Don't spend money if you don't have to. I've definitely fallen into the trap of buying games I don't need to buy, and it becomes very expensive very, very quickly. So totally good idea to not do that. Hey, you know what? This actually doesn't look that bad now that it's like a clean sink. First of all, this needs to be... This node is gonna drive me bananas. I don't know why this keeps doing this. Delete. I don't want the roundabout here. How do I purge the roundabout? How do I delete the roundabout? Oh my lord. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So that's fine. And then I'm going to ideally extend this tram line and not break anything. It's a straight shot. Can't be that hard. Connect here. Connect here. Oh boy. Okay. There we go. That was way more difficult than it needed to be. Okay. So, my intent of actually building a bus station here is working. Great. We need to make this look a little cleaner because right now it's kind of a hot mess. The question is, how do I want to make this look nicer? The grass is fine, but... hold on, I think this can be extended. So I think I'll just build all the extensions now. Yeah, that's why. Okay. That's why you could extend it out. Oh, you can also add a subway. But am I ever going to build a subway? I don't think I'm ever going to realistically build a subway, so I don't think I need the subway extension. I think this is fine as is. You know, one of the main issues that I'm running into with this general design, unfortunately, is... Okay, hold on. This abomination here needs to be merged into a supernode. Oh. It won't let me combine them. Is it because it's too close? Oh shoot, it might be too close. Oh my god, it might actually be too close. Oh, that's really awkward, actually. I don't even know how would you even begin to fix this? Probably. That's probably the cleanest way to fix it, I guess. It's super awkward is the main issue, and I don't really like how that looks. The only solution would be to flip it around, but I kind of like it being along the street in front of the tram station. Is kind of the main reason I am even doing this nonsense. I will say, though, it would be really nice if I could do like a custom path that connects from here to, say, across the street into a... You know what I'm talking about? Unfortunately, there's not really a function for that, because what I'm trying to say is I would like to build an overground, you know, like a pedestrian crossing. Not really ideal. These pedestrian crossings are comically large and not something I really want to use. And so I'm kind of forced to use... Shoot, not like that. I mean, like, I could do this, but can you imagine if I could just connect them instead of having to force them to go across the street? Which I guess they'll do it anyways if I just get rid of the street crossings, because we do need to minimize the street crossings. There's a little too many. Oh my gosh, this entire junction is just a mess. I need to turn this into a proper loop. There's actually a lot of passengers like trying to use the station too, which is the craziest part. Every tram that comes out of this thing is almost completely full. Yeah, okay. All right. Shall we start building a bus line? I don't even know where I'm gonna put bus stations, honestly. I'm looking at this entire design and I'm like, I have made some terrible mistakes and I don't know how I'm gonna fix it. Well, actually, it doesn't look that bad. The more I think about it, it's actually not the worst thing I've designed. This actually doesn't look terrible. I'm still a little iffy on this bus station, but I think it's probably fine. You know what I actually completely forgot about? I completely forgot I don't have any road maintenance vehicles. In fact, our road maintenance quality is probably really bad. Never mind, they're good. Oh, we actually have more than enough parking, so our citizens don't care about that. What else do they need? Traffic flow is like 50%. I think 50% is a good number. Electricity, we're making way more than enough to the point where we're exporting the excess, so we're making money that way. What else we got? Water. Oh! Okay. So I completely forgot about making water facilities to the point where we've mostly just been importing water. In fact, the only water intake that I have is a singular water pumping station. How much are we spending on water import? Well, I didn't realize it, but water is also not that expensive. Like, the amount of water we're importing is only costing us 86,000. We make way more than that in taxation alone. We make $4 million a month on commercial taxation. So I think that generally doesn't even matter. I think, is the trains fine? Yeah, 1 more billion heavy water dollars, exactly. Also, the music stopped. I gotta refresh the music choice. All right, what are we listening to now? The Nintendo Summer Mix. Upbeat Nintendo music for a summer day. Sure, it's a summer day. You know what song I've been addicted to that I kind of want to see if I can make a terrible parody of? You ever listen to, like, the play Mikado? There's a play called The Mikado, and there's a song in there called So That It May Happen. And I've been weirdly addicted to listening to it for quite some time. It's the one that goes like, so someday that it may happen. Wait, hold on. How's it go? So someday it may happen. How's it go? It's like, I've got a little list of society offenders and who might well be underground and who never would be missed. Ever would. I don't know. I've been like really addicted to listening to that ever since I heard a Teto cover of the Family Guy interpretation of that song, and it's just been living rent free in my head for the past God knows how long, and it's probably cursed. It's winter. Oh, that's true. Australians live in an alternate time zone, in an alternate reality where it's winter. I'm so sorry for the Australians. I hope you're able to free yourself from such a curse. What do I even put here? Do I just put more, I don't know. I guess just dump more offices. The thing is, we don't need offices either, which is the cursed part. Citizens want more living spaces, so maybe we just dump more Chinese high-density housing. Okay. It's time to start putting bus stations everywhere. Actually, I have a better idea. Hold on. We need more buses. So I've been trying to slap down a few basic bus routes. Like this area has, like this building has its own bus platform. I'm not really sure if I like it as this design. I might make this a two-way bus line, but I think it might make more sense as a one-way anyways. So let's put a stop here. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 stops. Yeah. What is this from? God, I really love Nintendo eShop music. That stuff is so good to listen to. It's such a vibe. It's so enjoyable. Okay. Oh, we can even use a bus stop with bicycle stands. Ooh, that's fancy. Okay, we'll put one there. And we'll put one there. Perfect. Look at that. Okay. And then, where else do I want bus stops in this area here? That's really the main question, is like, where would I put bus stops? I think you'd probably want a bus stop in front of here. And I will do 2 lines, like we'll do like a west line, we'll do like a counterclockwise line and a what's the opposite of counterclockwise? Clockwise line. That's why I usually put stops in blocks of 2. So I think we'd do one there, and I think we'd put another one here. Basically kicking out all the parking, that's fine. Okay, so I think you'd probably put one. This one doesn't need one, so probably put one here. Because the bus, how often? Okay, in real life, how far are the bus stops in real life? Are they like once every block? I actually have no idea. Now I'm kind of curious, like how far apart I should be spacing these things out. Every 3 to 4 blocks on average. Okay. Promise that this area is not fully completed yet, so there's still more opportunities for more bus stops later. Let's see. So I'm just trying to imagine the route that I'm gonna force these cars to go on. The problem is I don't want to put the buses on the major throughways, which is kind of the biggest issue. Maybe here for now. Alright, I think this is probably fine. Let's just draw the bus routes. So for this first inner loop, we're going to use this first batch. One will be the counterclockwise line. So this first one we'll do as the... We'll do this one primarily as the clockwise line. There should be a bus. There should be a set of bus stops here. Honestly, probably... I don't really want to put bus stops here, but I think it's fine. Put it like right underneath. Ooh, actually we'll put it like right here. When do we construct the pay nexus to DMV? You imply that we don't already have a DMV. How do you know I haven't already put one down? Okay, this is a clockwise line, so we gotta make sure we grab every node. So starting from here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then we'll do the counterclockwise line now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's a mess. Let's see, I need a waypoint over here, and I just realized that the way I've designed is not an easy way to get in there. So maybe this one has a slightly different routing. Yeah, this one has to have a slightly different routing. What the heck? What do you mean you can't go? There we go, okay. Nice, alright, so we got the 2 bus routes. Okay, so... I need to district this entire area because I need to probably give it a proper name. What am I naming these bus lines, by the way? Let's see. One of these is my transit manager. Here we go. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay. I'm not gonna just name things after food. You can't just say food things and expect me to do exactly that. Okay. Okay, I have an idea. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna district this first. This is all gonna be one giant district, and then I think it'll be fine. So we'll essentially start around here. Just more or less district this entire section. We'll do it outside the water because I need to district this whole abomination. Kind of like this, and then it's gonna extend out here anyways because we have to consume all this land as part of our districting efforts, and that's probably fine. Okay. This area is basically going to be called Soroshoki Downtown. Soroshoki Downtown. I do need to district. I need to district the buc-ee's area as well. So let me just do that before I forget. So we're just gonna drag this over here, extend out a little bit, just like that. Subsume all this area into the Great Buc-ee's land. Okay. And then this is. For the time being, I'm going to call this buc-ee's Beaver Town. That's a terrible name. but it gets the point across. Okay, so the people that live in the downtown core, we have 29, almost 30,000 people living in this downtown core area, which is kind of crazy to think about. That is a lot more than I anticipated. Okay, so we gotta adjust the lines. Okay, so I think this one's downtown clockwise, and this one is downtown counterclockwise. And I will call this the green line. How about that? I think green is a good color. Perfect. Okay. So the question is, how many people are going to be riding these things, right? Right now, there's no one that's riding them, but eventually, I'm sure the civilians will realize, a bus stop for us. Wonderful. Hopefully, that works as intended, but there's so much that's just kind of wrong with this entire design. Again, I don't like the fact that there's two nodes literally back to back here, but I unfortunately can't really do much about that. That's just the way that this nightmare kind of unfolded, and I really don't want to change that anymore. Let's put down a few grass strips to at least make it look neat and pretend like we know what we're doing. Just like that. See? I can't get rid of this. I kind of want to get rid of this node. I feel like making this a super node was probably a mistake. Actually, how many people are actually waiting on the buses? Oh, okay, you got a few. I don't know how many of them plan on, parking their bikes everywhere, but I'm very much glad at least these are used. You know what? I think I kind of want to put row homes here, actually. People who are wealthy enough to live by the beach in a wonderful row home. The wealthiest of our citizens hanging around. That might be fine. I really hate how Anarchy doesn't let me get rid of these things that easy. That's super annoying. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's do that. I'm just gonna pick and choose one of these random row home styles. Let's do North American row home style and just kind of dump it all across the front of this road. I think that'll be a great idea. Let's also just kind of remove the zoning on this. This used to be a mod. Thank God it's built in now. Perfect. Yes, I think what I'll do is we could do French style, Northeast American, Southwest. I think we'll do just generic North American. I could do medium density, but I think this should be like luxury row homes that people have kind of earned the right to. We'll make it go 4 deep. Ooh, that's gonna look interesting. And by interesting, I mean it's probably gonna look really cursed. Oh yeah, I forgot we have some of you as citizens. Let's see. Xanth is still alive. Xanth works at the Grass Crown. Oh, hold on, see. So Xanth lives in this super fancy building here. Currently, Xanth works at a place known as Capine, which is a ultra fancy office building, a telecom factory. You work right here at this really cool building that's so important it gets its own little plaza. Isn't that wonderful? How does that make you feel? That's where you work. You work somewhere nice. Actually, I'm kind of surprised there's not a lot of traffic in this area either. This area surprisingly has very little traffic. And now I'm concerned. Why? Not a lot of events going on. Let's see, there's an event happening at the lighthouse, but that's not really important. Ah, here we go. There's the incoming traffic, because everyone's trying to figure out how they can get to where they want to move into. That's fine. Let's see where those row homes are being built. Okay. And I think this area I will probably turn into... Okay, so I'm thinking this would also end up turning into more residential housing is probably the correct interpretation of what will happen here. Unfortunately, kind of merging this into this road is kind of a disaster. I delete this segment. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Let's not do that. I need to find a way to abuse this land, though. For now, I'll just put this here. It's kind of a mess, but at least there's a double U-turn function. Yeah, swagalicious. That's definitely a word that you can use. And I think what I'll do is... Oh, wait. I think these go as small as 2x2, so I just need a 2x2 strip of land. Yes. Oh, that's even better. Okay, perfect. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in that, whatever that medium density one that I'm forgetting is, this one, urban promenades. I think this should be fine at a 2x2. I'm not sure if this will work. If it doesn't, I'm just going to delete it and force it to rebuild itself until it looks correct. But there's a bunch of 2x2 assets. I'd rather they use the 2x2s when they can. Okay. Sure doesn't like the concept of 2x2s. In fact, it's trying to dump into 4x4s. Well, we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll decide if it's appropriate enough. But at the very least, I know that there's a lot of pedestrians, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to see more pedestrians, and obviously more people using the bus lines whenever we can. Obviously, some of these are a bit of a disaster. This college, for example, consumes a lot of things. But for the most part, I am kind of pleased overall. I think this central area here, you could put buildings in this triangle. I think this is a park, realistically. This triangle would be a park in real life. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna find some kind of park that I can fit in here, and we'll just kind of finagle. Ooh, that's a little too small. That's a little too tiny. Anything urban-esque enough? It's just too small. It's too modern. I need something a little... I need more greenery. There's surprisingly... Oh, wait. Hold on. Can't I use the surfaces to make a park? I think there's a surface that you can use to make this into a park area. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, you can turn this into a park if I designed it as a park. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll do... Oh, actually. Hold on. What are the other park choices that I have? Sports ball. Oh, you know, maybe you could fit a sports ball arena in here. There's probably enough room to... Ooh, if this is just slightly smaller, I could fit a climbing center. Tragic. That would have... That's almost a perfect fit, too. Ooh. Wait, actually, hold on. What if I just finagle it like this? That actually fits perfectly, I think. I don't know if I want to put that there, though. Probably not. Sports Club Pavilion. Soccer field's too big. That's way too big. I don't know why people want... Oh, my lordy. Observation tower? Ooh. Actually, I think the observation tower probably fits perfectly fine. Although, do you really need an observation tower? This area doesn't really scream observation. And it's not like I want to put a giant Chinese, you know, tower here either. Okay, why don't I just put in... I think this generic park probably makes the most sense. A little too big. Passage park, dog activity park, large... That's probably the most logical one. It's a little too big, though. Playground... Okay, you know what? I'll come back to this area later. I'll come up with something to put in here. I just haven't decided what it's ultimately going to be yet. But at the very least, I know that the bus station's working. We have passengers that are waiting to hop on, but I think most people are also just kind of using it as a parking lot because there's a parking lot attached to it. And well, you know, the civilians, they... Oh my god, look at how many people! Look at how many people are walking in and out of this thing. So many people live in this facility. Alright, I need to use the restroom because I've been talking non-stop for the past god knows how long, and it's about time that I probably go use the restroom. So I will let you gawk at... Let's see. You can gawk at this beautiful station and just let me know how badly this goes. Just a camera mode, UI, turn off. Just kind of let it exist here. Actually, I kind of like this viewpoint. Let's take a view around the main tram line. There we go. Ooh, wait, hold on. You can pretend you're inside the building and looking out the glass. kind of a neat effect. I kind of like that. Let's see. Maybe not. It's a little janky. Okay, I'll be right back. You can look at it this way. It is in fact a wonderful hot tub. Thanks to Lana for drawing it. It's basically the BRB thing, because I have an addiction to hot pot. I haven't had hot pot in a hot minute though, just an FYI, so I can't be blamed for my ridiculously high sodium consumption. It's just a thing that exists. All right, let's go build this out. By the way, I do have this mod that tells me what each train line is actually connected to, so you can, if you start naming your train lines, you can kind of see how they're all connected with each other, and it's really, really nice. Like, it's basically integrations with other buildings that you kind of set up, which is really cool. You figured it was a BRB? Yeah. That you know of. I mean, I swear I haven't had hot pot in a hot minute. Ray would probably kill me if I was eating hot pot all the time. Okay, we're gonna do something I've been meaning to do for quite some time. We're gonna reconfigure the highway. This is a long overdue project, and I think it's about time that we finally did this. So my plan is essentially twofold. One is one of these needs to turn into an intake section, and the other needs to turn into a what do you want to call it, like a expulsion area, like to put people back onto the main highway, because otherwise it's just going to be incredibly busy. So it's going to be a bit messy, but I'm essentially going to turn this area strictly into a you can hop out of the city and take it back into the highway, and then this one is going to connect north into this highway section, and at this point you can hop back onto the or you can hop off the highway into the main. Basically, it's a speedway to get into the core of the downtown is my plan. I really do need to put more parking garages, by the way. Like, there's not nearly enough parking garages here. This, what used to be a Lawson is super busy. I don't know why that turned into, or that thing transformed into not a Lawson. Holy moly, look at that traffic. Okay, hold on. Before we do anything else, just part of the problem is that there's so many pedestrians. And then so the pedestrians are just straight up forbidding some of these cars from making left turns. It's so bad. Oh my goodness. And like, look at these cars aren't even supposed to be turning in there. This is not supposed to be a normal throughway. This is supposed to be strictly non-normal cars, and I don't know why normal cars are just like, private vehicles aren't supposed to be crossing through here. So that's a bit of a problem that needs to be fixed. All right, let's see if we can fix this. Okay, I will show you how a master planner creates highways, and by master planner I mean you are going to be absolutely horrified at what I'm about to do. First and foremost, let's make this daytime. I need to minimize the shadows as much as possible so I have a clean view of everything, because as you can see, look at this abomination. So part of the reason is you can see that in this highway a lot of the traffic is trying to primarily turn left, which is the biggest issue. So by forcing and I think a lot of them are trying to get to downtown. If I can force them all over here, it would probably make it a lot easier. So let's redo the highway. Unfortunately, the highway is ground level. I could convert it to an elevated highway, but I'm already kind of committed to a at-grade highway system, so I'm probably not going to do that. So let's do this first. We're gonna finagle this area. This is gonna be the entry point here. This is a 3-lane abomination, which works fine. I don't think I need to make this any larger than a 3-lane, although I could if I really wanted to. 4-lane would probably be too much, but let's try to avoid that before I get yelled at for making more unnecessary lanes. The question is, how do I want to do this? I could just use a pre-made highway asset. People make lots of pre-made intersections that will generally handle this type of thing, like a trumpet roundabout, which is not really ideal, or trumpet interchange would probably be fine. But obviously, part of the issue is you can tell that some of this land is already being used by other things, and I'd have to essentially tear out our old... We'd have to commit gentrification and cut away these old, tiny farmlands and replace them with highway. Or I can try to jerry-rig a situation where I can kind of force them into this, and it would also work, maybe? I could... Like, if I get rid of this farmland, what would happen? I can then use this area and turn into suburbs, which would probably be good, and I've been meaning to make more suburbs anyways. So I would need a service interchange. I'll probably not do like diamond interchanges, because diamond interchanges is kind of a disaster to set up. I don't want to do that. Kind of don't mind this single park low. Oh, actually, if we do a park low, let me think. If we do a park low, maybe. Okay, hold on. First, we'll do a custom. We'll do a custom one. Okay, first and foremost, we're gonna pause the game and we're gonna just finagle this. First and foremost, this has to be a 3-lane highway. This entire section's got to be 3-lane. And then basically all the way through here has to be a 3-lane. Whoopsies, that should have been ground level. Oh boy. Let's just finagle this. That's what I was afraid of. That's fine. And then this one should also be 3-lane all the way to the bitter end. Okay. Now, how am I gonna do this? The problem is, you might notice that this is a frontage road, and the frontage road is super close to the rest of our stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do, actually, I have an idea. I have an idea. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna delete this. I'm gonna trim all the way down here. Trim all the way down here. and I need a bit more space away from the frontage road to make this work. So I believe I have a parallel tool to make this parallel by about, like, what, a meter? Okay, perfect. Let's make, okay, oh boy, this is gonna be annoying. Okay, so make this, I can't force it to be 180. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then this should be grounded now from this point. The problem is that it's not parallel with the other road is the main problem, and I don't know if I can force it to be parallel. Let's see. Because I'd like it to be parallel with the frontage if I can. Oh, you can. Wait. Hold on. Wait, can I just do that? Is that a thing? Am I just allowed to do that? Parallel tool. Oh, you can! Wait, that's kind of sick, actually. Hold on. I could make this a 3-lane highway going the other way. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, I have an idea. Because I need to adjust the offset. So I think what we'll do is we'll start from this node and we'll go all the way here. We will offset it by, let's see, 36, 30, 32. I think everything is done in batches of 8, so 32 is probably correct. And then 64. And it goes the other way. Okay, and then I just need to hook these in together. And I think that's the bare minimum that I need. Gosh, this is so difficult. I've seen, like, YouTubers do this, and they are way, way better than I ever could be at finagling highways into oblivion. 1080p should be available. What do you mean? Is there no 1080p stream? Is it only, like, giving you weirder resolutions? Yes, that's 1080p is available for me. Still not ideal. Oh my god, it's so jank. It's so broken. I probably have to break this again. Ugh. Okay, there we go. It's not ideal, but I think it works. I needed more space here. And then we'll probably smooth this out at some point too. Ooh, that looks terrible. What happened? Ooh. Oh my goodness, what in the world happened? Okay, let's smooth this out. Okay. That looked questionable in so many ways. Okay, let's see if we can smooth slope this again. Okay, first and foremost, this needs to straighten out. So we'll use the straighten out tool, straighten the curve from there to here. Actually, we'll straighten it from here to here. Okay, that's fine. And then I should be able to smooth slope it from here all the way to here. Bing, bang. Kaboom. Okay, that should be a smooth slope now. Okay. So, I want this interchange to be strictly falling into the main road. So I think the way... Okay, at least this one is easy enough. So this should be like a one-way... Right? Oh my god, what if I make this a 6-lane one-way abomination? The trees actually lower pollution. I don't actually know if they lower pollution. I think they help mitigate road noise. Oh my god, I could do this. Hold on, this actually might not be the worst idea I've ever had. And then I think I'd have to then finagle the highway. So I need this section approximately from... I need this section approximately here, and then I this one we convert it to 5-lane. And then both lanes at this point would then probably pivot. Oh, this is such a super tight exit, though. Ooh, can you imagine, like, the speed drop you would need to enter this safely is pretty intense. Yeah, like, the speed drop you would need for this is crazy. I don't think you want to drift here. That's probably a bad idea. Like, okay, let's logic this out. Okay, so you can easily transition in there, and now you've got a direct path, and then you need to also do an exit point or an entry point this way, which probably land you over here. So I could build this in reverse. Oh, but you can already see that the car's already using the new entryway, because obviously a lot of them are trying to get into the core of the city. God, 6 lanes is such. I don't even think Chicago does a 6-lane abomination. I feel like Texas would do this. I don't think Chicago would. Would Texas do that? I feel like Texas would totally do this. I feel like Texas absolutely would. Let's see. So I think I probably have to design this from here, and then here, and then this one pivot to 5-lane, and then we have to do some kind of abomination. Texas does many things that are unnatural. That's also true. Jakarta has. Oh, I've seen something. I've seen Jakarta. Doesn't, like, some Southeast Asian country also has like a ridiculous highway that's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a really wacky, almost. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's not feasible. Oh, I can do this. That's not what I want to do at all. Texas should not be allowed to use this example for any kind of urban design. I don't know. Texas does it. I mean, it functions technically, right? Can we really blame Texas as long as their weird creations do work? I need to snap it to here, and then I need to finagle this into a. It's not letting me quickly build it out, which is the annoying part. Normally this is not a problem, but I don't know why it's crying at me. Actually, you know what? I think I know what I'm doing wrong. This is actually the incorrect spot. This should be dropped down to... This should probably go back to a 3-lane. This section should become the 5-lane exit point, which we should probably not make elevated. And then over here is the 4-lane transition point, like that. Because the 3-lane highway that's going to connect is going to be even smaller. Can always solve with a roundabout. I mean, roundabouts are fun, but they can't solve all your problems. You can already see, like, okay, I built this dedicated entry road, and we're already running into traffic. Like, we're already running into traffic. Oh my gosh, there's just no way to deal with all this traffic. Do I need to make this an 8-lane? Do I need to make this an 8-lane entry? No, I shouldn't. No. That's a curse. If I start adding more lanes, we're just gonna end up in a cursed situation of just wanting to add one more lane. I cannot do that. I must resist the urge to just add one more lane. We must commit to whatever we're doing. I'm gonna... I think I can do this here now. Just gonna... I don't know what the minimum clearance you need is. Whatever clearance I'm about to do, it's not enough. Apparently 10's not enough. Oh, it is. Okay, so you can just do something like this. And then we can probably drop it down. Oh, this is legal within the realms of the game. Okay. We keep this at 10 here, and then we can drop this down. I mean, 12 is a little intense, but it is workable. This is so stupid. This should not function. Hold on, let's see. Can network tools fix this for me? If I order network tools to connect these two nodes together, will it be okay with doing that? Let's see. Not what I'm looking for, but it's trying. Oh, wait, hold on. I can adjust this. Wait a second. Oh, hold on. Two-lane highway. I mean... it kind of works. It's just not ideal. It looks really ugly is the problem. Part of the issue that I run into this game is that I tend to try to make things really compact when I really shouldn't be making everything super compact. And that's kind of the main problem as well. Okay, maybe we don't extend it that far, but this needs to be a more consistent slope. Oh my god. Oh, there's no way to make this smooth, is there? I know the lane math doesn't make sense right now. Trust me, it's a bit of a disaster for me too. It just looks really bad is the main issue. I mean, the lane math is fine. You could do like 2-2, and then when you arrive here, you can kind of split into your 3 into whatever lanes you need to get to at that point. So it's not the worst idea. It just looks really bad out of context. If I pull it out like this, and the center lanes are the ones you kind of transition to once you get in there, but that's also like super dangerous, isn't it? Like I feel like that's super dangerous if you try to, because you're hopping off the highway at breakneck speeds, right? God, I love Pokemon music. It's so good. I don't want to play Pokemon again. Maybe we should do a Pokemon stream. I haven't done one of those in a hot minute. I think so, yeah. I mean, no, this is Gen 3. This is, it's kind of like the Hoenn, just like town theme. Yeah, that lane smoothing doesn't really work as well as I think it's supposed to work. It's super awkward. Actually, no, that kind of worked. Okay, so could I smooth the rest of the curves? Or no, let's see, can I smooth the rest of these slopes? Okay, that actually, I mean, aside from this one, which probably needs to be smoothed out a little bit more. Oh, how's your Emerald Nuzlocke going? I used to do Nuzlocks on stream, but last time I did a few Nuzlocks, they kind of became a disaster, so I haven't done them in a while. Ooh, actually, that actually doesn't look that bad. Hold on. I feel like, hold on. I feel like this shouldn't be an 6-lane abomination. Yeah, I feel like this shouldn't be an 8-lane or 6-lane abomination. I feel like this really shouldn't be. Okay, I have an idea. I don't know, like right around. We're gonna add a node like right here. Or actually no. Delete that node. Here's my thinking. I think what I'm gonna do, I need to use this tool to kind of get me a breakpoint here. Just give me a straight line. Wrong lane again. Alright, wrong road. I need a basic 2-lane abomination that will split this. I've not seen Yanineko. I've heard lots of things about Yanineko, but it's not a thing that's on my watch list right now. Maybe one day I'll watch it, but it's kind of not a immediate priority. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this abomination. I think this road does need to be 6 lanes. That is 100% true. I think this can be a 6-lane divided. And then we can do a 4-lane entry. Using this as like the center point, and then just combining these 2 highway points. But even still, that's like super not ideal, right? Because a car coming from this highway wanting to make a left or making a right wouldn't be able to make a right without crossing basically a metric ton of traffic, right? Like, so that doesn't really make any sense. Like, this is basically asking to get into a car accident. It's basically asking to crash. Right? Like, I'm not crazy? I mean, these crosswalks are temporary. Like, those aren't gonna stay there. Those are very much temporary. There's got to be a better way to design this highway system. There has to be a better way to design the entryway into the city, because right now it's a hot potato disaster that I'm not really liking. I think I honestly should just get rid of this area here. If I do get rid of I mean, it would suck to get rid of this frontage road, obviously, but I think it might be time to... I think I would keep the frontage road, but you'd need to find a way to hook it in. But I'd also get rid of the farms. And I have to rebuild the farm somewhere else. Yeah, this is definitely one of those things I'm gonna have to, like, consider. Maybe I'll do this off stream before we stream City Skylines again and see if I can figure out how I'm gonna finagle this abomination. Because we are needing more suburbs. There's been a huge demand for, well, suburban living, and haven't been really able to provide such things. Also, let's also do advanced pollution management and also throw on city promotion and high-speed highways. Remove highway speed limits, increases the probability of traffic accidents. That's fine. And that should be okay. But yeah, it's not an ideal situation. Like, technically the lane math is correct, but even still the lane connections are like a hot mess. Because again, my logic is that if you're on this highway and you're trying to get in and make a right turn, you can't. Not with the way this is designed. Like, there's just no opportunity to make a right turn. Unless there's two separate entry points sharing the same node, but they're two separate lights, essentially. Which would require more traffic, but I guess that technically would make sense, right? If you make it like a super node. Oh, you know what? That's not. Hold on. Hello, Toru. How are you doing? All right. Oh, sorry. I just saw your message. I have an idea. Wait, hold on. This is probably the worst idea that I could possibly have. Okay, so what I'm gonna do... Delete, delete, delete. Okay, and then we're gonna... This should not work, but this will probably work. What you do is you draw this down here, you add a roundabout, and then you're gonna forcibly connect these. We'll put a bigger roundabout. Don't care, just put that there. And then we're gonna forcibly connect these highway segments into this road. Delete this, and then should be able to just drag this in. Oh, it does not like that. That's fine. Force it in, and we'll force the other one in as well with a nice simple curve. And then I think if you delete this node, if you delete the roundabout, this should work. Okay. That did not work the way I thought it was gonna work. Okay. This is such a mess. This looks so bad. Oh my goodness. Turn off traffic is. Yeah, we're turning off the traffic limiters. I want maximum traffic accidents at all times. There should always be a traffic accident, no matter what's going on. I don't want to put this in the center either. It's not ideal. I might need to finagle this later. I don't think there's an easy way to do this the way I'm thinking it's supposed to function. But I think for the time being, just at least have something functional and not breaking in half. What I will do is we'll build this out here, and then this segment here. I really think I just need to get rid of this I think I just need to get rid of this section here. Yeah, I think it's maybe time to get rid of this, or remove these factories. literally anywhere else, because I think it's not really useful. You would like realistically, this is an area that would get absorbed into the suburban area, going under. But going over looks cooler. Again, I just don't know how to connect this into the city proper is like my biggest concern. Go make the cutoff. I mean, we could do that too. That's not a bad idea. Because again, like right now, the way this looks, okay, so essentially the quote-unquote pseudo-final interpretation of this is, if I do this, I'll use this tool. Okay, we're gonna make sure it's connected. Hook in. So like there's that, right? And then you'd have this node here. Essentially drop in there. And I mean, I guess it's fine for now. It's a little cramped, but I mean, it functions okay. It does its job. We'll finagle that at a later time. These are parallel, and you just kind of probably complex curve this until it's all connected together. Wrong option. Maybe, I think, what did I say? It's like 16 apart, right? That's elevation. Okay, we're just gonna finagle this back in there. Okay, so one, and then turn this one on. Two. Okay, that does not look correct. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Let's get them close enough, but maybe they're not gonna... I'll have to find some alternative way to merge in. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I'll do this myself. This is... Oh wait, hold on, I know what I can do. Let's, I think as long as, like, in the middle, it should be fine. We can force them to break out independently, should be fine. And then we'll do the same thing on this one. Alright, it's, I mean... I have to kind of practice some of these tools that I now have access to, because I have this mod downloaded. And it does make things a little easier when I'm trying to finagle roads. At the very least, I can straighten roads and straighten curves, so it doesn't look super bad anymore, but it still looks a little janky, especially over here. At the very least, this entry point highway junction functions, and then this one I would convert strictly into a exfil point so that cars aren't coming in this direction, essentially. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the way this would work is I would probably delete this, delete this, delete this. That's fine. This one needs to get deleted. Bing, bang, 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 bong. And then we're going to convert this abomination into a 2-lane. Let's see. So this would be a 4-lane exit out. Which I probably need to straighten out because it looks really ugly. And then basically a bunch of these nodes would convert into, like this one would convert into a 2-lane, maybe a 3-lane. Oh boy. Something like this is probably what I would do. Yeah, there we go. Something like that would probably make sense. I mean, it functions. It's just not maybe the prettiest of choices, but this does work. Although you are running into an issue of having essentially many lanes condensing very, very quickly, and it's gonna be a little dangerous for most cars at this point to do this, but maybe it's fine. There we go. Alright, I don't know what I did, but I somehow did force it into be an exfil strictly type situation, which is what I was aiming for. We probably need to adjust these a little bit so that it doesn't look terrible. Again, I'm not a professional city planner. I do need to emphasize that. I mostly do this, like, because it's fun. Alright. There we go. It's not perfect, but it functions. God. It's so bad to look at. It looks so bad. It's terrible, but it functions. Alright. I need to watch some YouTube videos on how proper city designers plan their cities, because right now this entire junction is a dedicated abomination. Probably need to also use the lane tool to just finagle the amount of where cars are going. There we go. I mean, realistically, the way I would want this to be set up is that the right lane... Okay, you don't go there. But if you're on the right lane, you can go to any one of these points. And if you're same one here, don't take this one. Left lane can dedicate basically whatever lane they want to pivot to, and that should be okay. That way they can exit wherever they need to. No, I definitely could not make a truly Japanese-style metropolis. It's a very much an amalgamation of, like, American and... I guess whatever interpretation you want it to be. Like, there's still a lot of space here. I probably am gonna make another one of these blocks that just have a bunch of houses in this area. Oh my gosh, I've already... Oh, look, I've already run into car accidents. As soon as I removed the speed limiters and created the Autobahn, they're already having crashes. Why is there more road than building? Because it's how cities are designed. There's more roads than anything else. Listen, I'm trying, okay? We have a lot of bus lines at the very least, and at least the bus stops have a lot of... some people waiting around for them. You know, we got a lot of stuff. We got a beautiful bus station here. It's got wonderful things going on. I don't know how many people are actually waiting for... There's no one waiting for any of the buses, but hey. I think it's because most people would rather take the tram, which does have hundreds of people waiting to use it. I mean, overall, I'd like to think that despite the fact that this is a horrible, ugly disaster, it's not the worst thing that could have ever come out of here. And I probably will need to redesign this later. I'll have to think of how to properly do this, but my guess is before next stream, if I ever stream City Skylines again, is probably this section here, this farmland is probably going to get removed and probably dumped somewhere else. My guess is that I think there's a few temporary areas that I can probably relocate it to. Probably... There's a bunch of areas that have, like, entry points, like maybe here. It could be temporarily relocated until I can figure out what I want to do for farmlands in the long term. And that's probably how I would approach this. At the very least, I'm happy that we have the Great Buc-ee's nuclear power plant, which is producing a hilarious amount of energy for us, as well as that Big Buc-ee's Palantir data center. And Buc-ee's is also making a metric ton of money now as it continues to sell more and more food products to customers, and we've got more towers and more facilities. Yeah, there's a lot of things here. Now, there's a lot of things. Actually, wait, I can put this here. It'd probably be fine. Nope. So, I hope you at least enjoyed watching me finagle about and building a beautiful urban metropolis. This does not look like the way it was meant to. That is just a giant white facade. I think if I could... Actually, wait, if I have any signs... I would totally put signs on here. Yes, my goal is to put data centers in every major suburban area that we make, because at this point, it is just a curse and it'd be funny. Can I put a sign, like, on this? Oh, you can. Do I really want to put a sign on this? I could put a sign on this. I feel like I maybe don't need to put billboards, but you can put, like, oh, you can put signs. What else we got? Are there any big signs? I think you'd have to put, like, a big sign and you'd have to, like, put something on it, but at the very least, I know signs exist. I don't like any of these. Yeah, because these are, like, various company signs that I don't really use. I'm trying to think if I have any vertical hanging signs. Like, I would love to put a vertical hanging sign, because I know exactly what you're talking about, like a neon sign, right? Would be very perfect, like the ones that jut out. but I don't think I have anything of the sort. I'm kind of looking right now. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I have anything of the sort right now. I might have to go download some and see if I can find anything that would look... Oh, because that would be very fitting for this wall. It actually doesn't look that bad. Like, these actually did kind of fuse together nicely. I mean, there's a very cramped, like, urban promenade in there, but, I mean... You can do something with that completely blank white... It's a white slate that you can kind of pretty up however you want. And obviously we got our school now, which does have a lot of people. I do need to do more decorating, obviously, but that's a different problem for the future. I'm gonna go download some more assets on the workshop to try to make this look a little better. Again, one of the main goals is maybe not make this a terminus. At some point, I will probably just force a loop into here and then force the... and then we can force onto the buc-ee's route down south and over here instead of cutting over here. There's a bunch of mods like that, yeah. Yeah, trust me, this is a channel where I can talk for hours on end because this is essentially my way of practicing social interaction with people, because what is social interaction? Overall, I think it's pretty good. I wish I did get to do the thing that Immortal mentioned, which is setting up like maybe some mountainous suburbs. I think this area would be a pretty good spot for like a cliffside urban or like suburban area, and I already have an idea of how I'm gonna do that. Basically, I'm gonna use the alley road for this because you can, and you just have to be very purposeful of your slope. So you got to really pay attention to like the slope grades, and obviously with this area being super steep, it's gonna be difficult. We'll probably smooth it out a little bit, maybe lower the strength of this mountain so we can maybe put some houses, because the way it would look in if you want to know in theory what I would do, so I think like a 3% is fine, right? So in theory what that would look like is you do something like this, maybe make like a nice 1% like a 3% gradient like that, and then you see it's already created the this cliffside thing, and then all you got to do is maybe flatten it out a little bit, maybe match like that. There we go. Just kind of, it's already mountainous enough, so you just kind of flatten something a little bit in there, and then you can just go search up let's see, house from the Japan pack, and then just grab any of the small tiny residential buildings that you could probably any of the small 1x1s is probably what you need. So you probably look for like 1x1, and you could easily just slap in a few of these, like, you know, like this. Maybe scatter, maybe maybe vary the designs. I need to find more 1x1 housing designs, because there's not a lot of them, and they're kind of, some of them are a little janky, but at the very least you can have houses like this, right? And like, this is legitimately a way that you could design this, but I'd have to find a way to hook this into the main road, and obviously we'd have to be doing a lot of switchbacks because this is such a mountainous area that the only way to realistically, you know, get up and down is to do switchbacks. We'll probably stick to like a grade of like, I don't know, 2% or something like that at most, but as you can see, it does get a little intense. You see what I mean? So that's essentially the plan. There's a better way to do this. I know how I'm going to do this in the future, but if you want an idea what the next project is, I'll either do this off stream or I'll do it on stream. It is kind of awkward living in this area because the only thing you see is basically a giant nuclear power plant, the ocean, buc-ee's, and then the giant monolithic towers that dot your skyline and your line of sight. It's a little cursed, but we appreciate a good building fiasco here. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed our little wacky adventure in a city skylines, comrades. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Fire Emblem. We're gonna continue the Fire Emblem PME. I think we've slotted in all the characters. I haven't put in all the characters, but we have all the character slots that we need filled up. So that's kind of where we're at. So hopefully you had fun watching and learning a little bit of city design from the worst person to ever come up with city designs, right? But that's half the fun. Let's go, send the vampire, shall we? Yeah, we'll go read this in. Anyways, that's probably it for me tonight. I'm probably gonna go play some Space Marine 2, honestly. or Battlefront or Battlefield 2 or something. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna play something and just chill and relax for the rest of the night. And yeah, I hope you had fun. Enjoy the rest of your evening, comrades. Again, tomorrow's the last stream of the week because I am disappearing to Canada, as a certain individual demands my attention, so I must go appease her before she kills me. Alright, goodbye everyone. Say hi to Isin, who's playing... I don't know, what is he playing? Wanderstop, whatever that is. Alright, goodbye, and good night.